I left y'all because I had to go take care of some business real quickly. And now I'm like almost free. But let me tell you something, right? So when I was on live with you guys, that's why I had to go. When I was on live with y'all, I need to become a vlogger. I need to become a vlogger. I need to figure out how to become a vlogger. Yeah. But when I was on live with you, like one of my sis, no, she's white though, but she's still my sis though. She sent me a message like, "Oh, Marlene, I just want to give you the heads up that this influencer is like talking about. She talked about the B palette, and that she was having issue with the price. Like, and mind you, at that point, the price was like $63, right? So she's like, the girl was having issue with the price or whatever. Now I didn't go watch the video because I have things to do. I'm busy. And I am pressed like that. But hey Lily, what's up, Lily? So she was like, yeah, the girl's having issue with the price of the B palette because at that time the B palette was 63. It's supposed to be 67, but I made a mistake. But whatever. Kevin, what up? So I was like, what the heck? And it's like the palette is $67 because I'm like, the palette itself is $52, right? The palette is 52, but I'm choosing, well, I don't even have a choice actually because of the weight, right? Because of the weight, it has to be a priority product. Like anything over 16 ounces, which is a pound, when you are at a pound or more, that now becomes like a USPS priority product. Okay, you can't do first class in that. And also because of like the holiday season, like the times that we're in, and the times that we're in, period. People are very scandalous nowadays, right? People are very scandalous. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna put signature confirmation. Like I put signature confirmation on my palettes. Somebody has to sign for it because I'm not going through a situation where the tracking number says item delivered, right? Hey Maria, did you get your tracking? Your stuff left, your pallet left. Hopefully you get it by next week or so. But anyways, right? So I'm like, I'm not catching a situation where the tracking number says, oh, package delivered, but then you say, oh no, you didn't get your package, right? Because when you have a business, you do have customers who lie about their packages so they can get another package, right? Does it happen more often than not? I don't know, right? But then you also have customers who are honest. And the tracking number could say delivered, and she really does not have the package. Like, it could have gotten stolen, because you do have mail people who steal. It could have gotten lost, right? The mailman could have left it at somebody else's door, and then there are people who steal from people's porches. I mean, it's like, the thievery out here is just scandalous. It's scandalous. People go on people's porch, and then, like, they just steal their stuff. So what I do, because of, like, first of all, especially with Nigeria, like how much it costs and everything like that. Child. I'm like, I can't do this. So I'm just going to put an adult signature confirmation on it so that somebody has to sign for it. So medium flat rate box in the US, and you can check it out for yourself. A medium flat rate box, that's a post office product, right? A medium flat rate box is about like, it's $14.50. When you go through ShipStation, you get the little discount. And then signature confirmation, sometimes it could be up to like $5. Adult signature confirmation. Depending on the zone, it can go up to like $5, right? Because when it comes to the postal service here, America is divided into like 3 zones. You have zone 1, zone 2, zone 3. So based on the zone, it changes. Hey Mariah, it changes. So I just, I'm like, you know what? And then you also got to think about your processing fees, like PayPal, Square, Stripe, Klarna, whatever. Whoever you use to process payment, they take a cut. Okay, so it's a lot. It's a lot. So I just rounded the shipping fee to $15. Whatever goes over, I'll cover that. And then the pallet is 52, right? So homegirl, she didn't even come and ask me. Like, people are just so lit. People are so lit. Like, it's crazy. Like, homegirl didn't even come and ask me, like, sis, what's good? What's happening? You know what I mean? Like, can you explain the price to me? Right? No. She just ran to YouTube. And made a video to like, I don't know how many subscribers she got, to all them people who don't know me, right? And like put me out there in a bad light. So, I had to, gracefully walk into her DMs, girl. I sure did walk over there. Okay, Annalise Keaton. Okay, I sure did walk over there in her DM, like, I said, hey, girl. What's up, girl? Now I was like, well, my good sis came and told me that you made a video about the B palette, right? So first and foremost, thank you so much. And I mean it. Like, thank you for the exposure. Thank you for having me on your lips. Because honestly, I was gonna reach out to you, sis. I sure was gonna reach out to you to see if you want to review it. Look at Lily. Lily be with my favorite word. Because I was really, because I like her. From what I've seen of her, I like her. I think she's pretty cool. But like, from what you said, but I said I didn't watch the video now, but I was like, because you don't live here, you live in Sweden, right? So I'm like, oh, since you don't live here, so you might not understand certain things. And based on what I heard you said, it seems like you didn't even go on the website, and you don't really watch the content that I post, right? You just saw something, you saw the palette, you saw the price, and she just pretty much ran to make a video. Because everybody wants to be first to always have something to say. And sometimes to me, it's like, you ain't got to be first to have something to say. But, whenever you do speak accurately. Amen. Get your information. Ask questions. You know what I mean? Because it'll be my pleasure to tell you whatever you need to know. But I said the palette itself is $52. Okay, but shipping, since you live in Sweden, you don't live here in America, so I'm gonna let you know about our shipping. So I ship with USPS, that's our post office here, and they have a product called medium flat rate box, and the fee for that through ShipStation is $14.50. And then you add the processing fees, because they're gonna take their cut. So maybe, like, it might be like, I don't know, so I just rounded that up to 15. If you take 52 plus 15, that gives you 67. Now let's talk about the palette. The palette comes with 19 shades, right? So $52 for 19 shades. That comes out to $2.74 per eyeshadow. Like, I don't know. I'm so sorry. But it's like, where is the harm? Who killed somebody? Who's being hurt? Who stole from who? You know what I mean? And my other thing is, like, before you form an opinion on a product, before you form an opinion on anything, you should first have it. Like, yes, commendable. Like, you don't even have a product. Like, I don't know, okay. I was just like, I politely went over there, right? Because, like, sometimes on Instagram, Black women can get a little sassy, like, oh, my price is my price. Don't be mad at me if you're broke and you can't afford it. She's not broke. You know what I mean? Or like, I don't like to talk like that to people, because when there is ignorance, I think there needs to be redress when there's ignorance, and not shaming, right? But I'm like, I wish you would have came to me and I would have told you. But it's like, at 19 shades for $52, that comes out to $2.74. And even that kind of logic also is flawed, because all the pigments in there are not equal in pricing. Like, the mattes don't cost the same as the shimmers, but for the sake of arguments, let's just simplify things, right? And even that too, you're not even talking about the cost. Like, how much did I even spend on the box? How much did I spend on the tissue paper? How much did I even spend on the thank you cards? How much did I spend on the shipping box? Because those are not free. Like, the people don't just give them to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you pay for those things, and then you pay to have them shipped to you. And because the palette is not flat, it's not like a regular made, like, flat box. It's a cube. So it takes more space. It takes more volume. And as you also asked me, I will tell you that shipping is done per metric volume. So the more volume you take, the higher the price. Like, your stuff doesn't even have to be heavy. Like, you can have stuff that's very light, but it takes space. Go ask your cousin or your auntie about atoms. Okay. Hello. Did you take physics? Like, did you study chemistry? I don't understand this problem right there. Right? But it's like, it costs something too. So it's not fair to speak on something simply overpriced. The price of a thing, whether it's high or low, does not mean that it's bad or it's cheap or it's overpriced. You don't know my invoices. You have no idea what stuff. I didn't say all that to her, but I politely, because they're going to take a screenshot and they're like, oh my gosh, look, the owner came, and they always play like victims or whatever. But that doesn't really faze me, because I think it's really important. Like, it's very dangerous to do that. It's not. I'm like, and I said to her, like, you have to be mindful of your audience. You have to be mindful of your influence, and you have to be mindful that your voice, it carries. Like, people do listen to you, and you are speaking on something unintelligently. Like, you have no information. You don't even come and ask me. You know what I mean? Because I would have had, like, I would appreciate it more if you came and asked me, oh, Marlene, this is really pretty. This is who I am. I have a YouTube channel and I would love to review this for my people so I could give you my thoughts on it. No problem. If you get the palette, right? You know what it's looked like. You held it in your hand. You looked at it. You've touched it. And then I need you to do about like 2 to 3 looks with it. You don't have to record videos, but I actually need you to use it. You know what I mean? Use it about 3 times. And then you can form your opinions. And then you can tell people, this is what I feel like, the way that I feel. Good. Because your experience is your opinion are rooted with your actual experience with the product. How do you speak on something you've never tried? Like, this is crazy to me. Like, how do you speak on something you've never touched, you've never tried it, you haven't swatched it, you don't even have it in your hand, like it barely got here. Like, make it make sense. And this is why this is how so many influencers have destroyed people's businesses, speaking on things they know nothing about. Instead of like simply asking people to put them on a PR list and wait until you get your package and then you can form your opinion. But because negativity sells, and because people love to see negativity, people love to see people get bashed, people love to see people get crushed, they think this stuff is funny. And it's not. Like, this is not okay. So I had to go tell her. Then I did a video on my Instagram live too, because I had to let people know. Because there are too many business owners who let themselves be bullied. Like, they're so afraid to speak up for themselves. Like, they're so afraid to set the facts clear. They're so afraid to say, like, this is me, this is who I am, this is how I work, and this is why I charge what I charge. Because if you don't tell your truth, the internet will make up lies about you. People will make up stories about you. Like, people will create like these crazy narratives, and then they'll put that stuff on you. Then it sticks on you like being a black person. I don't want that. I work too hard. But it's like, even ColourPop shadows are like what? Like something like that, like $5 a piece, whatever. Like, what's so evil about it? Like, I can't even charge $2.74, like $2.74. Like, you're really gonna miss that? I'm not trying to be offensive. Like, you see these nails, they were like $125. I get my nails done like every month. I don't cry about, oh, I paid $125. And it's not even something that you can have for 2 years. You purchase a palette at like $60, whatever. You might have it for like 2, 3, 4 years, 5 years. When you do your nails, you change your nails like every month. So it's like always trying to like pick small businesses apart, trying to pick their prices apart. Like, you have a calculator. Like, this is 2021. Like, you have a calculator. You can break down the cost and be like, oh, you know what? That's not that bad. But the money for shipping, it doesn't go to me. It goes to the post office. I don't have a way to hack the post office system and get free shipping. And even if I did, that's a federal crime. I'm not going to a maximum security prison over some freaking stamps. It's never that deep. Like, legitimately, like, it is never, ever that deep, right? My company is not big enough. My revenues are not big enough that I can, like, absorb the shipping costs like that. I cannot. You know, but anybody who wants something nice for themselves, who wants to treat themselves, they should be comfortable with paying for shipping. You know what I mean? And I'm very reasonable the way that I price things. Yeah, Nigeria is over 100 because the shipping's in there too. That's 15. And then on top of that, these are very expensive pigments. Like, they're not by themselves not expensive, but if you add like 12 shades like that, it goes up. What do you want me to do? You know what I mean? And I said on my live, like, it's not fair. It really isn't fair to try to force every company to be ColourPop. You know what I mean? It's not fair to try to force every company to have Morphe prices. No, because not everybody wants to do that. And not just that, the ColourPop people, that's a family business. It's like 1976. I was born in 1985. These were probably, they were swimming in money before I was even like a fetus swimming in my mom's womb. Like, seriously, they have way more money than me. And ColourPop is not their only business. They have multiple streams of income. I don't have that. You know what I mean? Morphe, they have huge investors. That's like $1 billion company over there. I don't have that. And not to be offensive to them, I don't mean no offense like that, but I don't even want that for myself. I want to make products that are good, like that are really good quality, that are like intentional. Is this linked to it? No, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, This is crazy, you know. But I hate how like people want to use like price as a standard for everything. Like I was watching this girl yesterday. She was reviewing skincare that she got at the dollar store, you know, for like $2 and $3. And I'm like, how old are you that you are amazed by cheap ass skincare like that? Like, that's not even a good look. You know what I mean? But like people are so desperate for views. People are so desperate to show their customers, oh, let me show you how to save. Let me show you how to be cheap, cheap. But listen, your skin is an organ. The skin is the largest organ of the body. You go and you buy something for like for $2 super cheap like that. Don't even know what ingredients are in there because all you care about is the price. And a lot of times too, a lot of people have great a lot of influencers tend to be pretty people generally. Some people also have great skin, right? So a lot of people can do foolish things with their skin and not have to pay the price. That there's no consequences. A lot of people have very, very sensitive skin. And skin, because it's an organ, it comes out of your DNA. Some people have great skin because they have great DNA. Some people have problematic skin because the DNA has problematic skin. So when you recommend skincare to people, it can be something that you try for 30 minutes. You know what I mean? Just enough for you to film a reel, just enough for you to film whatever. No, because when you recommend something, she's not going to go buy it for 30 minutes. So she's going to use that repetitively. And you haven't used that skincare enough because skincare is like medicine. Do you know what I mean? Like when we say the skin is an organ, it ain't no different than the heart. You wouldn't just randomly recommend cardiovascular medication to a person based off of price. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not going to tell somebody that has heart failure, oh, look, I found heart medication for 50 cents. No, you can't do shit like that because somebody could really be hurt. And the same thing goes for the skin. You recommend poor skincare to people, somebody can end up having cystic acne. And that stuff is horrible. It's very horrible. It's horrible to have it on your face, and it's horrible to have to go through treatment because it takes a long time. You can damage somebody's skin in less than 15 minutes. You can truly destroy someone's epiderm in less than 5 minutes. And then it might take them a whole year for their skin to recover. You know what I'm saying? Like makeup, I guess sometimes it's okay because it doesn't last that long. But skincare though, because it has chemicals in there, it can really hurt a person. Hello? But it's like people are so obsessed with, oh, let me go find the cheapest skincare. Oh, this is $1 skincare. Oh, let me go find the cheapest foundation I can have. And it's like you're not even thinking about the chemistry. You're not even thinking about how this stuff is being controlled in terms of like temperature. You're not even, because a lot of ingredients, if they're not stored at the right temperature, they go bad. But you can, with your human eyes, you're not able to determine whether a product is bad or not. You can't. And you don't even know what to look for to know whether or not a product has turned. People who sell skincare, who are not in the business of skincare, like drugstore, they don't care how they store that stuff. They don't care what room they put it in. You know what I'm saying? But it's like when it comes to your skin, though, you have to care. That is the first thing that people see about you. When people see you, they see your face. So imagine like you have cystic acne or you have all comedonal acne, like it's gonna hurt your self-esteem. And it's not worth it. It's better to spend like $30 or $40 on good skincare and be proud of your skin and be confident and like, you know what? I love my skin. You know, we don't always have time to wear makeup, but it's like we should always have time to have great skincare to the best of our abilities and as much as our DNA will let us, right? But it's like not everybody is racing for money grab. Like not everybody is racing to be the cheapest. Not everybody is racing, oh, let me see how low I can go with my prices. Let me see how cheap I can be. Like, no, like it's crazy. And you should be very wary of companies who are so cheap like that. Like, what exactly is in this thing that your stuff always so damn cheap? At some point, you can't be that greedy that you're not concerned about your safety. Because I'm like, when it comes to makeup, I might not care that much. But when it comes to skincare, though, like, it's very serious. Acne scars are very serious. You know, dark spots are very serious. Like I had a bump here, it's not that bad, but I knew what to do when I break out like this, right? So that it doesn't leave me like really dark spots. But it's like removing dark spots, it's so process. Like one spot like this can take 6 months to fade away. So it's like you really cannot afford to be experimental and like cheap with your skincare. This stuff is really serious, right? But it's like not everybody wants to be cheap. Not everybody wants to just grab an eyeshadow palette and then throw it in a box and throw peanuts on it and then ship it to people. No, like some people, like myself over here, like I truly want to take like I take pleasure in wrapping my stuff. I take pleasure in my tissue paper. I take pleasure in my bubble wrap. I take pleasure, like my presentation means a lot to me. So I don't want to be cheap. That's why I like going shopping at Louis Vuitton. That's why I love Chanel. That's why I love Gucci, right? Because they take time for presentation. And that's what I want. Like, let me be in peace. That's why I said, oh, give me 2 weeks for me to pack it because it takes me a minute. I don't rush to do it. I take my time to do it, but I do it well, though. I do it well. But that's why we love Gucci. That's why we love Prada. That's why we love Fendi. That's why we love Louis Vuitton. That's why we love whatever. Like, I guess Spanx with the what? The Skims with the Fendi. You know, like all the major labels like Balenciaga. People take pleasure in like opening the green box. And that's where I want my brand to be. Like when people get a box from Marlene, like, dang, this stuff is so beautiful. But guess what? Ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. And click, clock, clock, clock. It takes time. It takes time and it takes money to give people a beautiful experience. And I get it. It's not for everybody. That's fine. But don't bash me also for trying to give people a beautiful experience. I feel like, especially with like COVID, quarantine, all the stuff that we've been through, people deserve to feel special. That's just how I feel. Like, you know what I mean? We didn't die. I guess we multiplied, but we here. You know, we're doing the best we can. We're here. But it's like, I truly take pleasure in like doing nice things for people. It's just that I can't do it for free. If I could, I would. Because I feel like every woman deserves to have something really pretty. You know, like you deserve to have something really pretty in the mail. You know, like, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. And to feel really good and to feel really special. My aim is not to be the cheapest. You know what I mean? Thank you, Don told you. Yeah, it looks, and it's not cheap because I put a lot of extra stuff in there, like that gold, that foil thing. It's not a regular foil. Like they had to go make that for me because I wanted it to look like when the bee is dripping in the sun and it's like it changes colors like that. So that was a customized foil, and we had to order like enough meters to make all the boxes that I ordered. You know what I mean? And it's UV'd also. That's why I'm like, you haven't even touched something and you want to talk about my stuff. It's like, just like the Mona Lisa. You can see the Mona Lisa in pictures, but there's nothing like actually going to the Louvre in Paris and you stand at the Louvre and you get to actually look at the Mona Lisa. It's not the same. You know what I mean? Like you might have eaten steaks in your life, but the day you actually get an Omaha steak, you're like, oh, dang, that's different. You know what I mean? They sell a whole bunch of steaks at Walmart. You know what I'm saying? But those are not the kind of steak that they use at Morton Steakhouse. Them people over there, those people over there, okay, they use like the best of the best. You know what I mean? Like filet mignon is very different meat than like all. And the funny thing is, all these different cuts of meat come from the cow. It's one cow. But there are parts of him, especially like the stuff he has to use to walk, like the muscles he uses the most, will be the cheapest meat because that muscle tired. But like the cuts that make like the tenderloin, the cuts that make the filet mignon, them stuff is the part he not using too much. But you can have steak all you want. You can go have steak at Chili's. But you go to Morton Steakhouse, it's a different experience because they're not the same kind of steaks. You can buy steaks at Walmart and feel like you eat something special until one day somebody sends you a box of Omaha steaks. Like we had our neighbor here too. He's gone now. Mr. James. No, Mr. George, sorry. It's a white man. He left because he was getting too old. So his kids came and got him. It was good for him. You know? But one time, because he liked what James, because James, every time he would travel, he had Jimmy pick up the mail. So he really liked us, whatever. So one day, like, he gifted us a box of Omaha steak. You guys, hey, when I tell you Omaha steaks is nothing to play with, like it's so different. Like even like when you season it, when you grill it, when you char it, like it's no, them things ain't got nothing to do. It has nothing to do, okay, with Walmart steaks. I don't know where they get that kind of meat. I don't even know if it's real meat. You know what I mean? And it's the same thing that goes for chicken, right? If you buy chicken from Walmart and you buy chicken from Whole Foods, it's a different kind of chicken. It is a different kind of chicken. Even if you buy like if you like where my parents-in-law are in Fredericksburg, there's a guy, there are people there. They're either from like Afghanistan, like Pakistan. They have a meat thing. Like they do like lamb, they do cow, they do goat, they also do chickens, but they raise them themselves because it's halal, right? Because it's halal meat. When I tell you their meat tastes nothing, even the blood, like even the color of the meat, the way that meat looks, the way the color of the blood looks on the meat, y'all, it looks nothing. I even told Jimmy we should start a business. Like that meat looks nothing like the meat they sell in the stores, you guys. It tastes nothing like it. It looks nothing like it. The blood, like the way that blood comes out, wow, it is so bright. Most meat, like Walmart, them places, BJ's, Costco, Rouse's, the meat there can be very dark. Like it's been sitting there for God knows what. That's like fresh meat with like the fresh blood. And it costs a little bit more, but it tastes so freaking good. Like you need to find a place where you live that actually has like a farm that does a lot of meat, and you need to go try it for yourself. Like, oh my gosh, Marlene, you are so right. It is so different. You know what I mean? Not everybody wants to be what most people like. And not to be offensive, right? But most people don't have good taste. Most people don't have good taste. That's why McDonald's is popular. Because most people don't have good taste. Because if you had good taste, you can't eat this kind of stuff. It don't taste good. Right? A lot of people sell chicken. A lot of people sell fried chicken. A lot of people sell all kinds of chicken, right? But why is it that people treat Chick-fil-A different than everybody else? Because it's completely different. Like it's real chicken nuggets. Like them things, it tastes like chicken, it look like chicken, it smells like chicken, it chews like chicken, you swallow it like chicken, you digest it like chicken. You see what I'm saying? Like it's like that's because Chick-fil-A gives you real stuff. You know what I mean? But yeah, even hamburgers, right? Like they're real hamburgers, but the stuff they sell at McDonald's, it's not, I don't even know if it's real meat. And that's why a lot of people now are going vegan, because nobody can even tell what's actually is in this food. Because they say one thing on the label, but when you actually eat it, it doesn't taste like what you grew up knowing. Like it tastes so different, you know? So it's like not everybody wants to be the cheapest. That's not everybody's goal. Like some people really care about the work that they do. Some people really care about like how their presentation looks. Some people really care about the experience they're giving to people. Hey, Jenny, some people truly give a damn. Like I give a damn. I truly do. Otherwise, I wouldn't be working so hard. You know what I mean? It's easy to have a palette and, oh, they put that on sale for $15. Like, it's very pretty packaging. People are going to buy it. I could have put it on sale for $20. Like, it's not that hard. But for $20, I can't do much with it. We're going to throw it in a box and put some peanuts in there and we're going to ship it to you. And it's going to get to you the same way we feel about it. You know, but when you know that people are paying a lot for a product, I mean, most business owners, I would think, they put a lot of efforts in it. That's why when you buy Mercedes, they give you a certain kind of service. That's why even Mercedes dealership, they look like God knows what. They're so freaking beautiful, right? The dealership looks a certain way. Even when you're outside in the parking lot, it's clean a certain way because it's Mercedes. You want to go buy an Audi at an Audi dealership, it's going to be a certain kind of experience. You want to go buy a Jaguar. You want to go buy a Range Rover. Yeah. They create a certain atmosphere because they know you about to spend a whole lot of money. I went to there's like the, what's it called? The Bentley Rolls Royce dealership in Beverly Hills. My goodness. My goodness. You know what I mean? My goodness. Like, look at this. Like, look at that. My goodness, right? But this is how people build like great names for their company because they're known for great service. They're known for beautiful packaging. They're known for but they charge for that. It's not free. You cannot compare a Toyota dealership to a Mercedes dealership. I'm very sorry. You cannot compare Even when you go to like a Toyota dealership, whatever, they have so many cars on the lot. It's like it's overwhelming, right? But then when you go to like a Range Rover, an Audi dealership, a Benz dealership, their selection is very limited because they cater to only a certain kind of people, and they don't have that much stuff, but whatever they have, they put their all into that kind of stuff. But you're never going to see a luxurious Toyota dealership. It's not happening. But Mercedes, though, it's a different story. Audi is a different story. Porsche is a different story. You know what I'm saying? I can only imagine what it is to go buy a Bugatti. Like, I can only imagine what happens when you go buy a Lamborghini. They probably fly you in. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, when you go buy a $500,000 car, like, how do they treat you? Like, that's just crazy, right? But it's like, this is what I want. Like, if you buy a Lena product, like, you expect to be like, I don't know, like the Rolls Royce of eyeshadows. I don't know. Not just the pigments themselves, but it's like the packaging also, like the everything about it. Like, right? Like, it's like, oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Oh Jesus. Oh wow. Woo! Lord, this is so nice. You know, that's what I want. But I don't know. I want my stuff to look like me. I'm a very fancy person and I like my stuff to be fancy. You know, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So it's like, oh my gosh, like, so it's like, I'm really, really excited about that. So that's really good. That's really awesome. Um, but so that's that. But it's like, not everybody always wants to be like, oh, not, not everybody wants to be like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Lord, people love to send messages. Like, it's overwhelming. Like, can I focus, please? So it's like, not everybody she said, I drive a new GMC Terrain now, and it's rose gold, but it doesn't feel the same. Yeah, because it's not the same. Even the engineering is not the same. And that's the thing, like, that's a very American thing, because I've noticed that here, because, I'm not from here. And plus, I was raised by the French, so we tend to be a bit more refined. Like, Americans, they like to be grotesque. Like, Americans love everything that is super big. They don't like things that are refined. Like, they think the bigger, the better. You know what I mean? Like, if they have $20, they want to buy as much as they can with $20, right? If they want to eat, they rather go to a buffet and stuff themselves to the point like they can't even breathe, as opposed to picking a place that has like really great food, quality food, and a great experience, right? Americans tend to hoard stuff. That's an American mindset. Like, they like hoarding stuff. So I kind of get it, right? So quality is not a thing that truly matters to Americans. It's more like quantity. And that's what the Chinese do so well here. Yeah, that's very grotesque, right? Like, that's why, like, I can see why, like, Europeans, like, oh, these Yankees, right? Because even when they come into, like, the world of, like, luxury and high fashion, it's always too much. It's too much. Like, it's always too much. Because the mindset is hoarding. It's like the mindset of somebody who's obese. Like, they never know when to say, okay, enough is enough, right? Americans don't know when to be like, oh, it's okay. If they could take more, they'll take more. And it's like, there's no room to put it, but they'll just take it because they're very greedy. It's a very American thing, right? And that's why people have so many issues here. Because they're never told to be reasonable. Because to be reasonable is like anti-American. Like, you know what I mean? They don't like to be reasonable in their logic, in their thinking, in their arguments, in their spending, in their war decision, in their oppression decisions. Like, Americans just don't like to be logical, reasonable people. No, they're always over the top. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of get that. Like, hoarding, oh, let me see how much I can stuff. And it's like they go as cheap as they can so they can buy a whole bunch of stuff. And then they end up not using it because they bought too much stuff and now they feel overwhelmed. That's why we have shows here like hoarding, like on American, what's it called, A&E channel, right? Because people will rather hoard stuff than to take the time, right? To take their time and to make like an informed, intelligent decision. Like, you know what? Okay, I could buy 20 items for $1, or maybe I can buy 2 things that I really, really love for $10, and I'm actually going to use it. And this is why Americans produce so much trash, because they buy shit they don't really want, and they buy shit they don't even need. They just like to hoard. You know what I'm saying? It's like, That's not my psychology. Like, that's not my mindset. Y'all know I'm not from here. So that's not my mindset and that's not my psychology. Right? I'd rather make one thing, but have it be like super, super good than to make like 20 different things and they're all mediocre. Do you know what I'm saying? And they're all mediocre. And it's very bad for the environment. Americans produce like 75% of the world's trash. That is crazy. That is crazy. How can one country be so hurt, like dangerous to the environment? Because people feel like to be reasonable is anti-American. And that's crazy to me, right? But that's like, to me, like, that's just not my mindset. Like, I'm not someone who's like, oh, you know what? Let me try to make as many things as I can and charge as low as possible and make off of the mass. No. I'd rather do one thing, do it really well, charge what it's worth, and then be like, okay, I'm good. I got my cut. I'm good. I don't need to have it all. I don't need to have all the money. I don't need to have all the customers. No, I don't. I am tired. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make more money than you can actually spend. Trying to make more money than you actually need. That is crazy to me. But like I said, this ain't my culture. You know what I mean? My daddy just brought me here, and I learned to adapt. But it's like the house is it has an echo because there's not much furniture here, right? So, do you know what I mean, you guys? I want to start vlogging, you know. But it's like, okay, but not everybody wants to be the cheapest person, you know. Not everybody who has a business is trying to do it for the lowest price possible. No, you're going to wear yourself out. And when you're too cheap, people might splurge. But eventually they'll have fatigue. Nah, I'm tired. I bought so much stuff, like I'm tired now. Because it's like sensory overload. It was so cheap, they went crazy. That's why let me tell you something, right? That's why buffets make a lot of money. And tell me why. Ask me why. Marlene, why do buffets make a lot of money? Because when people go to eat at a buffet, they go there like overly hungry, like they don't think. So they pile so much food on their plate. And you know, when you look at food long enough, you'll start to feel full because there's too much food to look at. So a lot of times people don't even stay in a buffet as long as they could. If they ate slowly, if they ate less at a time, put less on your plate and eat slowly. You actually get more of your money's worth at a buffet. But if you go at a buffet and you're super greedy and you're trying to pile as much as you can on your plate, after the first plate, you're full. Not because you're really full, but your brain chemistry, right? Your eyes, they will send a message to your brain like, you know what, we're full, but you're not really full. You're just tired at looking at food, but you're not really full. Because as soon as you leave the buffet, 30 minutes later, now you've digested the food that you ate too fast, and now you're hungry again. So now you're going to go to some fast food place trying to get more food. One of the best ways to avoid obesity is to eat slowly. The slower you eat, the more satiated you'll be. The slower you eat, the less you'll eat. When you eat your food way too fast, you're always going to be hungry. And you will always feel like you don't have enough food, but you did. You're just eating way too fast. And that's why, like French culture, meals are usually small. Because it's not about how much you eat, it's about enjoying what you're eating, and you got to eat slow. Like, you have to eat very slowly. But that's not an American thing. Like, oh, fast food. And we got like obesity problems because people eat too much way too fast. Food is meant to be enjoyed. Food is not therapy. It's not whatever. You have to enjoy your food. Like when you actually chew your food, like actually chew the food. Taste the different notes in your food. Like taste what you're eating. Yeah, exactly. They sure do pretend to eat. They take really small bites. Very, very small bites, right? But in American culture, you have to gorge. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. This is a lot. This is overwhelming. You know what I'm saying? My husband used to be that way, but I guess being married to an African, he stopped. That's why he lost 100 pounds. You can enjoy food. You don't have to eat it all. Because before you know it, you've put on 100 pounds. You know, just like I have days, if I feel like I've ate too much for a week or two, I'll fast and I won't eat. Because I have enough fat to carry me for like 2 months, I promise you. Right? So it's like not everybody wants to be the cheapest. You know what I mean? Not everybody is racing to the top. I'm very comfortable where I am, actually. I'm very comfortable where I am. And I'm very comfortable with who I am. I truly am. You know what I'm saying? Because I've learned my lesson. And one thing I will say now is like slow and steady wins the race. If you don't compare yourself to people, if you mind your business, if you chill, if you do what you're supposed to do, you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. You know what I mean? You don't have to compare yourself to people. Just like I said, there's another guy here. His name is Manny MUA. Like I'm not his biggest fan, but he came out with like a contour palette thingy, and I guess he didn't have enough shades. I don't know, but then people just started attacking him, and I'm like, that's too much. Maybe he didn't have the money to do it all. Maybe he doesn't know how to do it all. Like you got to give people time. So maybe if he sells this one, he'll do another one. And then that one, he'll take all the feedback he got and then he'll make it better. But it's like, you got to stop attacking people or like making videos and talking bad about somebody, because a lot of people have a whole lot to say about things, right? Oh, this should be this way. This ought to be this. This should be this. Da, 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 da. People have so many things to say. But yet, when it comes to their own personal life, very few people take action to do things for themselves, but they always want to criticize the efforts of other people, and people think because, oh, somebody's a business owner, they should just lay flat like a doormat and people should just treat them any kind of way. That's like, that's not okay. Somebody messed up, or according to you, somebody messed up. You can give people nice feedback. Oh, you know what? I think what you did, and you can always start off by saying to somebody, oh my gosh, I'm really proud of you. I like what you did there. And next time when you do it, I think you should also consider this thing. Hey, Elliot, what's up? That's empowering to say that to people. Because when you create something and you put it out there, you're very vulnerable. You're scared, you're vulnerable, you put a lot of money in it. And one lady was like, yeah, they asked him to make like 20,000 pieces. I'm like, so imagine even if at like basic, like just imagine if it's like $5, right? $5 times 20,000 pieces, yeah, that's 100,000. And we can't just assume that people have $100,000, $200,000, $500,000 laying around. We can't assume that. We cannot assume that. So sometimes people start with what they can afford. And then if they can't do better, then they'll spend more money later and they'll improve. That's why sometimes the first version of a product or the second version of a product will look completely different, because by the time you get to the second version, by the time you get to the fifth version, the person has made more money. The person has learned more about their mistakes. Like they've saved more money, they've made more money, they've learned more, they have more staff, they have more experienced people to give them advice, they have better advisors. Like, so usually, the first iPhone and iPhone 13 don't look the same. Why? Because they've learned a lot. But I'm like, even Apple messes up. Like they have phones that go crashing every time there's a new update or there's a new phone. So it's like when it comes to like everyday people, yeah, like when it comes to everyday people, everyday like influencers, like, you got to give people mercy. You got to extend mercy to people. You got to extend grace to people, because you don't even know if you could do it, because you probably wouldn't. It's very easy to criticize somebody, but not a lot of people. Oh, that's what's up. You said I want to succeed. I know that's right, but a lot of people are very afraid of being criticized. A lot of people are afraid of rejection. So give people credit also for putting themselves out there. You don't have to buy it, but you also don't have to say things about stuff that you know nothing about. Because it truly isn't easy. And a lot of time when it comes to business, people figure things out as they go, and things happen. Like even me, like with, oh, thank you, babe. But like, even like with the Nigeria stuff, like it, honestly, for me, it was only going to take like 45 days. Then I guess life had other plans for me, right? But sometimes you can have real plans. Like you can have reasonable plans. You could have done all your due diligence and it still goes left. It's like, oh my gosh, baby Jesus. Like what the heck, What can you do? But it's not like you intentionally want to hurt people or like you intentionally don't want to send stuff to people. It's just like, this is crazy. Even like with freight now too, like because of Rona, like a lot of stuff has gotten delayed. Like shipping is all kinds of funny. It's a lot. It's a lot. It really is a lot. And you still got to keep pushing. Yeah, like you truly tried, like you keep pushing, but sometimes it's like even you feel overwhelmed. Even you feel tired. Sometimes you feel like the entire nature is like conspiring against you. So, I don't know. I'm like, have mercy on people. And if you don't know somebody's cost, you can't criticize their selling price, you know, because you don't know what anything costs. If you don't know how much somebody paid at wholesale, or you don't know, because my stuff is straight up customized. It's not like, oh, it's oh, thank you, babe. It's not like somebody was like, oh, we have this product here you go, and you pay us. No, this customized. Like everything about it is customized. Everything about it came out of my head. So it has like, there were so many molds that we had to do. There were so many things that we had to make. Like nobody has it. It's mine. Because I didn't want what somebody else had. That's not me. Like I do my own thing. I'm an Aquarius. Like I mind my business. Like I want my own thing. I don't want the same packaging as everybody else. I don't want the same circular pants as everybody else. I don't want it. I don't want to look like other people. It doesn't interest me. Oh, but I don't have Cash App, but I have I don't have Cash App. But you can, are you on Instagram? You know. Or you can text me. Text me and then I can send you my Zelle if you want to. Can I type here? I don't know. So you can text me. What's the number? 504. Text me. The number is 504 446 0542. 504 446 0542. Everything is customized. Like this stuff is real, you guys. And whenever you guys decide to oh, thank you, my love. I don't use Cash App. One girl, she was using Cash App. Then people scam her Cash App. The man took $1,000 out of her account. Cash App scares me. But text me. Text me first. And if whenever you guys decide to have your own business or whatever you decide to do, I truly, truly encourage you to be different. Now, it will cost you more. You know what I'm saying? It will cost you more. Being different ain't cheap. It will cost you more, not just in terms of money, but it will also cost you more in terms of time. It will cost you more in terms of like having to think harder, like because you have to do something that people haven't done before. It really hurts your head. It hurts the head a lot. Like you guys, I went from being overweight, losing weight, gaining weight. But at the end though, um, you'll be so much happier that you made something different, right? Yeah, Joe Malone. But even think about the iPhone. Like I told you guys, I'm like, remember like back in the day, the Razor was everything. The Motorola Razor, first, before there was the Motorola two-way, right? The flip thingy. Oh, it was the Motorola two-way Razor. Remember that? Like that flip thing, and T-Mobile used to have it. And like Fabulous had it, like, that was like, it was very big and clunky, and then you could flip the screen, whatever. And then Motorola came out with the Razor. The Razor was iconic. For Steve Jobs to sit there and to rethink what a mobile phone could be, for as much as I might not like the dude, you got to give him credit. Because he thought about a cell phone in the way nobody had thought about it before. And he changed the world. Like, from the iPhone, from iTunes, the iPod, this whole notion of like people creating apps, like how many millionaires, super rich people have been made off of an app. Instagram exists pretty much because of Steve Jobs. If Instagram was on a website, I don't know that it would hit the same way that he hit. All them TikTok stuff, like how many people were able to become millionaires off of social media, off of Instagram? Like Steve Jobs, with this phone, he created so many different corollaries for people to be rich. It's insane. But when they talk, there's a documentary about the iPhone. These people suffered. Like, yo, I thought I was going through it until I watched the documentary. I was like, you know what? Maybe my stuff is not that bad. But it was almost like a year or two. Like people had like some people ended up getting divorced. Some people ended up getting divorced because of the yeah, let's go get the charger. Some people ended up getting divorced because of how demanding it was, because a lot of the stuff that you needed to make the first version of the iPhone did not exist. It didn't exist, right? It did not exist. So they had to write code. They had to go to is it Intel? I think it's Intel, right? They had to go to Intel to get certain chips made. And like some of the stuff that he wanted, the technology was not even there to make the stuff that he wanted for the chips, for the processor. But like the keyboard, the touch screen, 504, 504. That's normal, right? 504, 446, 0542. So it's like 504, 446, 0542. You know, the documentary is here on YouTube if you want to watch it. But a lot of those engineers, like, they were so burnt out. They were so burnt out. Some got divorced. You guys, like, it's really sad. And it's like, we enjoyed this phone, but we don't know how many people sacrificed for the iPhone, their marriages, spending time with their children, the pressure, because Steve Jobs is an asshole. He is not a nice person. But sometimes if you want to make things, sometimes to be a visionary, you can't really be nice because you got to force people to be uncomfortable to create greatness. And most people can't take that much intensity. But some people, like, it traumatized them. You know what I mean? But it's like, oh, Elliot, I got it. I got your text. I got it. I'll text you back once I got it. It came through. You know what I mean? But it's like a lot of people, it's like we will never know. But we enjoy the technology with so much ease. And I think sometimes, like when you live in a developing world and developing country, so many things are accessible to you that you stop appreciating how much work it takes to make those things, because everything is so accessible that you don't, like, nobody, even I was telling Jimmy, I was like, it's so crazy how even when we go to the stores, when we go to a store, we never think how the stuff gets there. We don't think about logistics like that. We don't think about supply chain. You want to buy something, you go to the store. And when you go to the store, you expect it to be there. You know what I'm saying? But like, nobody thinks about those truck drivers and how hard it is to drive these big trucks. You know what I mean? And the pressure that these companies put on truck drivers to be there on time, or bad things happen to them. You know what I mean? We don't think about truck drivers and how sometimes people are not so nice to them on the road. When they try to cut or change their lane, people are not so nice to truck drivers. You don't think about that. No, like, you know, we don't think about people who work at the port. We don't think about, like, you know, customs officers. Like, we don't think about the whole supply chain and the number of people. Like, even when you're asleep at night, there are people working, trying to get your package to you. But because it's so accessible to you, you don't even value, like, wow, like, this is crazy. Like, it takes legions of people working nonstop like ants. These shelves don't fill themselves up. But now, because of the Rona and the lack of so much stuff, we see it now. Like, oh my gosh, how come this isn't here? How come that we don't have toilet paper? How come we don't have this? Because supply chain is not working. It's not working. You know, like, and that's the thing. People see something, like, oh, because I've seen so much of it, this is not worth much. You can't say that. You can't say that because some things are custom. Like, some things are custom made. You cannot say that. Just because you see something, look, oh, this is an eyeshadow palette, that's an eyeshadow palette. They're not the same. You cannot say that. And I'm gonna stand up, and I stand up for myself, and I will continue to stand up for myself. And whoever don't like it can unfollow. But you can't do that to people, because there are people who dedicate years to just doing one product. Years. And you just want to casually be dismissive because you live in a comfortability of being in a very successful nation. More power to you, but it doesn't diminish don't take away from the fact that somebody truly had to work hard for something. People work really hard. And when you have a smaller brand, because you're not known, because people don't believe in you, because people don't support you like that, you have to even work even harder because you got to prove yourself. You got to prove yourself. A lot of companies that are bigger or that sell at bigger places, they're not that great. But because they have a bigger name, they don't really have to prove themselves. And that's why usually the quality goes down, the creativity goes down, because when people make it, they get lazy. But when people haven't made it yet, they like they're hungry, like they really want it really bad. So they push themselves to think outside the box so they can have something that like makes them stand apart from other people. You know what I mean? But it's like I'm not gonna sit here and like let somebody like make videos and say things that are not true. Like, no, don't say that. Because even that at $52 is that's also way too low. But it's cool though. It's whatever. Call it a Trojan horse. It is what it is, right? Like call it a Trojan horse. It is what it is, right? Because I'm telling you, like, and that's why a lot of great ideas don't exist. Like they never come to life. Because the people who have those great ideas, when they look at the negativity, when they look at people who don't have good taste, like people don't understand shit and are so quick to talk about stuff, I can see why some people don't want to do it. Because like, I'm gonna work so hard, and then they're not even gonna try to understand it. Just gonna talk shit. So a lot of people with great ideas, they don't want to do their stuff. And I'm like, no, you should do it. Because one day they're gonna see you. You know what I'm saying? Like Louis Vuitton. And today, everybody just wants to wake up. And I mean it, right? Today, like everybody just wants to wake up today and charge like luxury prices because they have a fashion show or because they were invited to New York Fashion Week. And I'm gonna say it, right? But Louis Vuitton, the house is 100 years old. The house is 100 years old. And not only that, when you talk about when you talk about Louis Vuitton, the person, because it's named after a real human being. But the man, he's from a French village somewhere, if I remember correctly, and he walked his ass all the way to Paris. He walked to get to Paris. He worked so hard to be the best at what he did. Everybody bought me, Rachel. I just a little bit of straightening in the words of Quavo, right? But Louis Vuitton, I want you guys to read his story. And that's the thing about Americans. That's why I talk about Americans. Like you see, like French people or people who are like French speaking, like me, I'm from the Ivory Coast. Something is luxury to us, not because of the price point. It's luxury to us because of the legacy of what it is. Like we always make sure to study a house, to study a name. Like who is this person? You know what I mean? And that's why we don't need to hoard. Like you're not gonna see a French person having like 25,000 like Louis Vuitton bags, right? But you'll see Americans like have like 20,000 Louis Vuitton. Like look at Jeffrey or look at a whole lot of people. Like they'll hoard a Louis Vuitton bag. Like they have all these Louis Vuitton stuff because to them they want it as status. You know what I mean? Americans are always looking for status through materialism. Because you have to remember, this is not a real nation. This is like a weird experiment taking place on somebody else's land by people who were rejected out of England. So there's always going to be a spirit of inferiority when it comes to Americans because it's rejects. It's like British rejects who came here to build a colony. So in their way, they always feel like they have to prove that they're just as good at actual British. They suffer from that. And then they've made it worse for African Americans. Like it's really bad, right? But it's like in the French culture, when you buy a Louis Vuitton bag, it's not because you hoard it. It's because you understand the history and you respect the history. And not just that, it's part of French patrimony. But it's like Louis Vuitton, he walked his ass from his little village all the way to Paris. His specialty, I think that was also his dad's specialty, but his specialty was making suitcases, les malles. We call that les malles. Like, if you see like the big, like the old school Louis Vuitton cases, les malles. I'm say les malles et tout. Right? But Louis Vuitton, he was handpicked by the wife of Napoleon the Fourth. Napoleon the Fourth is the nephew of Napoleon. He's the last emperor of France. And at that time, as you can imagine, because French people love luxury, like look at Louis XIV, Louis XVI, look at Marie Madeleine. Them people, what's that no? Marie Antoinette, pardon. They love luxury, right? It's a French thing, you know? So the wife, her dresses were very, very expensive. They were super expensive. They were super delicate. And at the time, the way you would travel with your suitcases, like think of like the pirates, like like those suitcases, those cases that have like the humpback like that. They were it was not practical, and it was made out of like animal hide, so it would smell. And it's like she's a queen. She can't be out here smelling like going places and smelling like weird stuff from her trunk. But her dresses were very delicate. So she handpicked a chest. Exactly. Thank you so much, right? Chest, le mal en français. Uh-huh. So she handpicked Louis because he was so good. So he was commissioned to make all the chests for the queen, for the wife of Napoleon IV. And this is how, once he became her mal person and maletier, when he became her chess person, then the other ladies, because of course the queen's gonna set the standard. So because of that, other ladies wanted to have him also. So then he started working for nobility. It's the same thing for Balenciaga. Balenciaga is a Spanish, he's from Spain, right? C'est un Espagnol, he's from Spain. And because his mom was a seamstress for a very, very noble woman. Like these houses have history. They're not for mass consumption. They're not to like flex on Instagram. Like you gotta sit your ass down somewhere and sometimes and actually take your time and research. So as French, I don't want to say because I'm not a citizen. I'm not like French citizen, but I like as a French speaking person, somebody who grew up in the French system, right? It's the respect for the tradition. It's respect for the culture. It's the fact that these are people who were the best of the best. These are the best of the best of what they do. In terms of chess, like Le Mal, like Louis Vuitton was considered to be the best of the best. But he proved himself. That's why he was handpicked by the queen. It's not because he woke up with, oh, I deserve to charge $5,000 for a suitcase. Like you see that a lot today. Oh, well, I deserve. No, you don't. What have you proven? What have you done? Like, what's your legacy? Who has picked you by hand to say, you know what? You are the best of what you do. You know, because today we live in a generation where people feel like because I think I am, therefore I am. That's American psychology. People not, and I don't mean like white people or black. I'm just saying like American psychology, like the collective, all people in America, period, whether they're legal, illegal, white, black, Spanish, whatever. Like the American collective says, because I think I am, therefore I am, without actually proving yourself, without actually like working to prove yourself. I don't set prices for my stuff because I feel like, I'm entitled to charging $109 for a pallet. Oh, I'm entitled to charging 67. No. No. Did I intentionally want a price at a higher price? Yes. But it wasn't enough for me to say like, oh, I want to charge at a higher price because I deserve it. No. But I busted my behind so I could earn the higher price. I will never deny. I was like, yeah. I was like, ooh, I want to be like Natasha Denona. I want to be like Huda Beauty. I ain't gonna lie to you. But I'm like, if I want to be at that level, I gotta show up. It's like you can't say like, oh, one day I want to be like Michael Jordan. Okay, that's cute. But it's like, then are you willing to work as hard as Michael Jordan? You can't say like, oh, and like you can't say like, oh, I would love to be on the level of like Makeup by Mario, but you never do makeup looks. You don't have any models that you work on. You're not always living, breathing makeup. Like you look at Mario, let's say Mario period, right? You look at Mario, for example, like he breathes this stuff. He lives it. Now, he might not do as much as he used to, but he paid his dues. So if Makeup by Mario like, yeah, I want to charge 48, I mean, I guess. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, and that was my mindset. Like, just because you think you deserve something, does not mean you should get that. But if you work really hard, for it, yeah, and then yes, at that point you deserve it. A lot of people, especially with influencer culture, oh, I deserve. Shut up. Just because you're in America, you don't deserve more than somebody in a third world country. You're not more deserving than anybody because most people in America don't work harder than most people. If anything, most people in America try to avoid working at all. They don't want to work. But you don't deserve, like a lot of people don't deserve what they think they deserve. And nobody wants to say that, but it needs to be said. A lot of people don't deserve what they have, don't deserve what they want to have, don't deserve what they aspire to get because they don't give it their all. They give just enough to get by. You see what I'm saying? They give just enough to get by. And when it comes to my stuff, especially when it comes to these palettes, though, I didn't just get, let me just get enough. Oh, let me just do enough to get by. No, I give more. I give above and beyond. Above and beyond. Cause then I can sleep at night. You know what I'm charging, I know I'm not robbing people. I know I'm not scamming people. I know I'm not like, oh, I know that. And I have peace of mind because of that. Because I paid the price for what I wanted to have. And it wasn't easy. No, but America fosters delusion in people and acute delusion. A lot of people in America they suffer from acute delusion, severe acute delusion. Do you know what I'm saying? But I'm like, people like Michael Jordan, like, do you have any idea like how many times he lost? You know what I mean? Like to the Pistons, that Detroit Pistons, they used to whoop that ass. You know what I'm saying? Like Kobe, like how many times he lost? What's your boy's name? Chef Stefan with the sauce. Like, have any idea like how many times he's in that place throwing them 3 pointers like back to back to back to back for 8 hours, come back the next day, do that stuff again? Like the stuff that what's your boy's name? Floyd Mayweather had to go through physically. Training to become a heavyweight champ is not easy. Most people, even I don't think I have it in me. Because it's very intense. It's very strict. You run, run, run. You don't even get to breathe. Then they put you in there. You gotta go fight somebody. Like, what the heck? I thought, I need a nap. Even when I work out, I'm like, yo, I need a nap after I work out. This is too much. Those people don't nap. Most boxers train 8 hours a day, if not more. And it's not like, oh, just do little jumping jacks. It's cardio intensive. And that's a lot. To be able to like do high cardio like this, where your heart is beating at like 160 to 170 per minute, that is a lot. These people probably burn like 3,000 to 4,000 calories a day. That is a lot. That is the absolute. So then it's like you sit back, you're like, you know what? I guess you deserve your money. Because most people don't have the heart to do that. Most people don't have the courage to do that. Most people won't do it. And that's why most people are stuck. And like I said yesterday to Econom, your old habits will not create new results. And we all got to check ourselves. Old habits do not create new results. If you keep doing the things you used to do, you're going to keep getting the results you used to get. And that's a fact. And that also applies to me. You know what I mean? I used to have all these grandiose ideas, but to be honest, was I working as hard as I could? I thought I was, but I wasn't. But now I did. So now I'm like, yeah, now I can be like, oh yeah, I deserve this. But before, I wasn't really. That's why I told y'all, for as much as people might like Jeffrey, might not like Jeffrey, that's not really important to me. But me, Marlene, I was like, you want all these things, but when you look at your work and everything that you have, Marlene, do you really think it deserves that kind of money? And when I sat my black ass down and I watched the Jeffrey, like the Shane Dawson documentary, the way he had like the packaging, the tissue paper, the boxes, the mirror, the palette, the way everything was just like super, super matchy, matchy, matchy. I was like, you know what? I need to learn from him. I need to learn. It's not enough to say, oh, I deserve. Are you willing to be a student of somebody who has exceeded you? You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody got to learn from somebody. You know what I'm saying? No, but it's the truth. Like, we have to be, and I don't know why in America, like, people are allergic to telling the truth. I'm like, it's such a deceitful nation. Like, there's so much deceit in English. Like in the English language, there's so much deceit, right? And then like in an American social setting, it's so much deception. I'm like, I don't know why people are so deceitful with their language. Like, I just don't get it. Maybe because I speak French fluently, I don't know. But in French, it's like stuff is direct. Like even you in America, like you could be for one person or two people or like a bunch of people. Oh, you. It's like, but in French, it's like no, there's two. When you're talking to one person specifically, it's two. You know what I mean? If it's a group of people, like there's two. Like it's very specific. Like French will let you know, like, hey, I'm talking to you right there. It's not vague. Like French is not a vague language. It is very direct. Like English is a very convoluted language. Like it's so full of nuances and it's like it never gets to the point. Like it gets on my nerves. Like it really does, right? But it's like people here don't like to tell themselves the truth. People want to use like old trauma, systemic trauma to justify why they should just be given stuff. And it's like, no, life don't work like that. Life does not work like that. It's I deserve. It's like, no, you don't. Sometimes you get what you get. You know what I'm saying? Like, can I be like, oh, I deserve 1 million followers? No, I'm not consistent. Like, I deserve what? I deserve what I have. I can say, oh, it would be nice It would be nice to have 1 million followers, right? It would be nice to have 2 million followers. It would be nice. It would be nice. That's what you're trying to say. But you don't deserve. You see what I'm saying? Like, and I see a lot of black women do that stuff too. Oh, I deserve. No, you need to say it would be nice, right? Because it's like you have to understand things. Like, let's talk in terms of like influence, right? A lot of black women, especially on social media, in terms of influencers, you like to work alone. If you work alone, your influence is not that powerful. That's why if you notice a lot of white influencers, they're always part of a group. Like, they grow their engagement as a group. Like, if you see one, you see two. You see her, you see me. You see him, you see them, right? Like, you think of, like, what's your boy's name? Logan Paul and his brother. So those two together, they help each other's engagement grow a lot. And then, like, Logan Paul had a whole house with a whole bunch of influencers. Like, they always worked, like, they work as a group. They work as a network. Like, networks are very powerful. Even when you study, like, I guess, industrial engineering, you, like, anything, code, algorithm, whatever, networks are very powerful. And nodes, like, and the more a node is connected to other people, to other nodes in the network, that's a very important node. But because black people like to work alone, they are not good nodes. Like, your nodes is not impactful. Your note is not impactful. And it's like, and it's so hard to get it through black people's head because they're so afraid that, oh, if I give her this, if I give her that. Okay. And that's why a lot of the black girls, the OG black girls, their channels didn't grow. Like me, I have a reason why my stuff didn't grow. I wasn't here. But why your stuff didn't grow those six? Because when you were at the top, you didn't want to open doors for other people. Then the other black girl, when she makes it, because nobody helped her in her head, she don't want to help nobody too. So then the cycle continues. You understand what I'm trying to say? The cycle continues. So the nodes are weak. It's not that black girls are not pretty. You're very pretty. You're very gorgeous. You're very stylish. But your node is weak. You don't have a strong network of other influencers that you constantly work on, that you work with, that you guys comment on each other's pictures. You do it like you're not strong nodes. Because, for example, like, I ain't trying to be disrespectful, right? I'm really not. Right? But like, take the Jackie Aina palette. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. Please don't take it this way. I don't mean no shade by it, right? I don't mean no shade. I'm just being objective, right? But it's like, can you imagine how big that palette could have been if a lot of huge black girls had supported the palette, whether they like Jackie or not? That would have made her a powerful node. But then one could also make the argument also, like, does she take good care also of her relationships with other black influencers? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, and that's why I said, like, the video I was watching yesterday with Queen Choma, it is true. Black girls be on some petty shit. They be on some petty ass shit. And when it comes to business, they rather keep grudges than to take care of business. So it's like, if a white business don't offer you the same money they would offer a white influencer, sometimes are they taking advantage? Yes. But then sometimes also you have to look at yourself and be like, you know what? Why are they not offering me this much money? Your nodes. Like, if you come out with a product, right? How many influencers that you know that you can pick up the phone and be like, yo, sis, would you do this? Da, 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 da. Or even without asking, we'll just do it. And it's not that many. Because by the time a black girl makes it to the top, she's had so much beef with other people. She has had so much pettiness with other people. And we don't like to forgive. We don't like to have open conversations because we think if you're humble, if you tell people, oh, like, you really hurt me, somehow it makes you a weak person. So we carry on like, oh, I'm not bothered. Oh, I'm okay. But low key, high key, you're bothered. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's a lot that goes into it. You know, so it's like, but if you have a stronger node, like, let's say you have a palette, a black influencer comes out with the palette, and all the black girls are in formation. Like, do you know, like, that you can break James Charles's numbers? Because James Charles is a powerful node, not just because he has a bunch of followers. James, when I met James, he was selling ice cream in upstate New York. This, like, that, I don't even think he could have seen this. But the thing about James, James built a network with other influencers, whether it was Manny MUA, Jeffree Star, Jaclyn Hill, doing Tati's makeup, Glam Life Guru, he was doing her makeup. Then he started messing with the Dolan twins. Then he started messing with that girl, Chamberlain, Emma Chamberlain. You know, like, James knows how to network with people. This little Gemini. You know what I mean? James he's a powerful node. He knows a lot of people. He has connections with a lot of people. So if you put the product in James's hand, he can send it to a lot of other influencers. And then you as a company, you won't even have to pay these people because they're friends. So they're gonna do it as a favor to him. Like a lot of black influencers do not, that's just not even black influencers, that's just black people, period. A lot of black people do not know how to nurture relationships. And that is a fact. Like it's very easy. And I'm telling you, like in America, when you're black, it's a very comfortable place to blame white people for everything. It's a very comfortable. It's a narrative that most black people resonate with. Yeah, I'm an Aquarius. It's like being the victim, blaming white people. White people are demons. White people are witches. White people are racist. White people this. White people that. It is so easy. It is so easy. And as long as you make white people the demons, you don't have to hold yourself accountable. Right? But the reality is, sometimes it's not white folks. A lot of black people, whether it's in business life, career, friendship, marriage, in-laws, you church, a lot of black people do not know how to nurture relationships. A lot of black people do not know how to take care of relationships. We only know how to fight, cut somebody out, drag a bitch, cuss out a bitch, cancel a bitch, block a bitch, read a bitch. That's all we do. That's all we do. Always on some extra aggressive ass, destructive ass shit. That's why I say we don't build shit, but we're good at destructive shit. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of black people do not know how to nurture relationships. And that's a huge problem. And we all need to work on that, myself included. Because when you have great relationships with people, you become a powerful node. So when you release something, you're like, yo, sis, can you hook me up real quick? Yo, sis, hook me up real quick. They're going to do it. Why? Because you have nurtured the relationship. You can't just go on for months, for years without talking to someone. Be like, oh, yo, sis, hook me up. Like, who's that again? You know, like, even as brands, that's why a lot of black-owned brands don't do well. That's why a lot of black-owned brands do not do well. Because they don't even put like a system in place to like send people birthday cards. Yo, it's your birthday and you always support us. Holla, girl. Here, little gift card real quick. Go do you, sis. Get your nail done. It's on us. We don't know how to nurture relationships. And that is a fact. Don't be mad at me. Don't be mad at me. Because the truth, all of us, it gonna set us free. Even me, Marlene, I had to check myself. You got to do a better job nurturing relationships. You have when you're black and you have a business, like you might not have a lot of money like a lot of white businesses do, but you can make time to nurture relationships with influencers. It don't have to be every day, but maybe once a month or once every 2 months, like you check in on people. Like, are you good? Do you need this? How was your weekend? I see you got the babies now. They're so handsome. It don't cost you nothing to send somebody a little text message real quick. You know what I'm saying? A lot of black women don't know how to make peace with other people. Don't know how to move past stuff. Always holding a grudge. Like, bitch, please. But then you go be with somebody that's been cheating on you your whole life and you know how to forgive. Or you've been sexually abused by somebody, but you know how to forgive, right? Because black women are a lot harsher with other black women. Even the way a black mother gonna raise her black daughter versus her black son, she'll be harsher with her daughter than she'll be with her sons. We are very harsh with other black women. We're not nice to other black women. We're very mean. We're very mean. We're very strict. We're like, we don't have mercy. We're too much. You know, let me give you another conversation also, right? Like, let's talk about Nicki Minaj, for example, right? Let's talk about Nicki, right? For as much as, and I'll say it, and she was right there, I'll say it to her face. I wouldn't cuss her out about it, but I'll say respectfully, like, sis, really, I don't really think this union had to take place because love is intentional. And you could have made a better choice in the man that you chose because it brought too much. It's too much. It's the same thing with Portia. I like Portia a lot, but this choice, this whole Simon situation, the show, I'm confused because to me, Marlene, in my head, Portia was supposed to be the new Nene for this generation. Because she grew a lot. She changed a lot. And people started liking her. And I'm like, so you just woke up one day like Will Smith and Jada and just decided to ruin your good name? Like, I am so lost, right? But I'm not going to throw her out, but I'm still lost though. Even Candace from Real Housewives of Potomac. I like Candace a lot. I like her a lot. I just don't like how she talks to people. And I don't like how she talks to Chris. Because I think Chris is a really good husband. I think he's very chill. And I think Chris gets enough effery from her mother. Her mom is already disrespectful enough for the both of them. So I'm like, if you talk to Chris, the fact that Chris is your husband and he's older than you, like, put some respect on his name. I'm not saying don't say how you feel, but you can't be talking to your husband like, oh, fuck you, this, that. You know what I mean? Like, this is insane to me. When you marry someone, you owe them some type of respect. So otherwise, why are you married to them? If we married and we don't have respect for each other, why are we married? But it's like respect is a minimum, especially between a wife and a husband. And sometimes the way Candace thinks she's allowed to talk to people is completely out of line. But I'm not the type to be like, oh, I'm going to throw the baby in the bathwater. No, I'll throw the bathwater though, but I keep the baby because these are still black women. You know what I'm saying? Like Nikki, I don't like it. I don't like, and even for her, she has a song called Good Form. It's not good form. It's not good look. I'm not saying you could be his friend. You could help him. You if you believe his story, that's fine. More power to you. But he ain't got to be your husband. That didn't have to happen like that because it brought on too much division and it's not good. Spiritually, emotionally, for the brand, financially, business wise, it's not good. You know, it's sad that for Nikki, she can't even open the comment section. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't even freely open your comment section because of the choice you made. Like, and it's a choice that was 100% avoidable. This didn't have to happen. We pick who we fall in love with. You don't stumble into love. You're not Humpty Dumpty. You know, you can't even open your comment. People can't even chat with you because you have anxiety about all kinds of stuff happening in the comment section. And if he also loved you, he wouldn't even want that for you from the jump. He's like, if me being with you is going to take away from everything you build, queen. And the fact that he couldn't even like be man enough to walk away from you, to not harm you, your brand, your relationship with your people, like that's crazy to me. You know? But to me, Marlene, at the end of the day also, because nobody avoids anything out here. Whatever you sow, you're gonna reap eventually. So I ain't gotta worry about it. But for me, Marlene, as a black woman, as a businesswoman, you know, I respect Nikki because it takes a lot to get to where she is. It takes a lot. You know, sometimes I sit here and I put on like her music, I put on like her verses, I put on her freestyle. Nikki is freaking talented. Like when it comes to them rap stuff, like the girl is a wordsmith. You cannot take that away from her. You cannot take that away from her. I might be disappointed, but I won't take that away from her. I won't take it away from her. The stuff that she was talking about, that this industry was trying to do to her, she telling the truth. She is telling the truth. And sometimes in this life, the people that we love will disappoint us. But it's not enough for us to turn our backs on them and throw them out and cuss them out and act like there was never a time where they brought us joy. In my life, my little sister was on Nikki before I was, though. But in my lifetime, the way I've lived my life, there are numerous occasions where putting on Nicki Minaj's music, it made me happy. You know what I mean? It made me feel bad. Like, oh, I'm a bad bitch. I'm like, you know what I mean? King Kong in this bitch. What you gonna do to me? Nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like that about her. I like her arrogance. I like her cockiness. I like how she works so hard to be so good with these words. Like, Nicki's really good. Nicki's really, really good. And honestly, I don't think that there's another female rapper that can rival Nicki and her pen. Like, for real. And that's a certain commitment to her craft that I will always respect, right? The same thing goes for Portia. I think she came a long way from being divorced with nothing, being thrown out in the streets, finding out on Twitter that she was getting divorced upon. Cordell left her with nothing, and she built herself back up. She grew. She learned to understand the audience. She learned to understand her show, the business, the audience. You know, there are good things to Portia. You know, I think her daughter is really beautiful, right? But it's like there's a certain part of Portia, I don't like it, but I'm gonna pray for her. I'm gonna pray for her because maybe Portia is dealing with something. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh my God, I don't know why I want to cry. Like I know this lady. But the thing is, like, you know, when Portia said that, because Portia and Lo, They have the same daddy, they don't have the same mom, right? And it seems like because Portia's older, so it seems like he was married to Miss Diane. Then he was cheating with Lauren's mom. But anyways, Miss Diane kicked him to the curb, and she kept custody of Portia. But then Lauren's mom, I think she was the new wife. So I think she was married. She was the second wife to Portia's dad. So Lauren got to grow up with her dad and her mom. Portia never had that. And one time they were having the discussion, and Portia talked about how sometimes she wonders how she would have turned out if her dad was like constantly in her life, and especially if her dad and her mom were under the same roof. And it's like we have to reckon that there's something broken in Portia. I'm 36 years old, right? And it's like you get to a point in life also as a Black woman, like your initial response to something like, oh, that's disgusting, that's pathetic, that's low blow, how can you do this, Portia? This is so, you know what I'm saying? But then another part of you has to calm down and be like, you know what? Maybe she's suffering from something. Because obviously there's a deep hole in Portia. Yeah, but you grew up and you probably react differently, right? You probably react differently, but I'm sure it affected you somewhere. You might be a perfectionist. You might be like, it affected you somewhere because we all react to things differently, and some people are not as strong as other people. But it's like when you look at Portia, something is not right. Something is not right. And you can cut somebody out, right? Yeah, exactly. You can cut somebody out. You can throw somebody out. You can cancel someone. But it's like, and then what does that do? Or you can have mercy for somebody. And let me also say this. When I say have mercy for someone, it doesn't mean you approve their choices. Because the choice ain't right. And it's not going to be right whichever way you look at it. It's still wrong. It does not look good. Like this, no matter how you try to explain it, cut it, dice it, put the filter on it, it does not look good. It doesn't look good. But my thing is, I will pray for you that you get to a point that you have a breakthrough. You see, like you have trust issues, right? So you might not go for your castmate's husband. You know what I mean? You might not go into the DMs of your castmate's husband once you heard that they filed for divorce. You might not do that. But in the relationship, you might be very, very critical. If somebody doesn't call you back in 5 minutes, you are already thinking the worst, right? If someone does not tell you where they are every hour of the day, you're freaking out. If somebody has to go on a business trip, you already imagine a bunch of hoes in the apartment. You know what I'm saying? So we all react to things like differently, right? But I'm like, there's something wrong with Portia. And for me, it's like being a Black woman, the fact that she has a Black baby, she has a Black daughter, and baby PJ is going to look up to her mom. For me, Marlene, as a Black woman, as a mother, I want Portia to be all right. I want Portia to be made whole. I don't know what she's missing. I don't know what she's looking for. But I pray to God that God gives her the solution from within. Because it's not going to come from men. It's not going to come from money. Like whatever you didn't have with your dad, you can sleep with a lot of men. Your dad not going to come back. Like you can't fix it. Because Portia puts herself in very bad positions with men. And it's really sad. So on the surface, yeah, at first reaction, you want to cuss her ass out. You want to make fun of her like, oh, I'm unfollowing this bitch. You know what I mean? Oh, no, that's a little thought over there, right? Because because that's just what we do. But then as a child of God, as a Christian, you're like, dang, what would Jesus do? And he would pray for her. Because remember, the lady at the well, the lady who met Jesus at the well, the Samaritan lady, she was a hoe. Hey, lady boss, she was a hoe. That's what Jesus said. Because when she's like, she says something about her husband. He said, girl, that man ain't your husband. She said, oh, the fuck? How you know? He said, just like the other guy wasn't your husband. You know what I'm saying? She was a hoe. She was sleeping with people's husbands. But the conversation they had, the conversation she had with Jesus, it was very low. Because it was just the two of them. He didn't grab a bullhorn. Oh, here comes this hoe. Here comes the hoe. Let me tell you, last night she slept with Susan's husband. You know what I mean? Let me tell you, the day before, she was smashing Mary's husband, right? But it was a very low-key conversation between the both of them. It wasn't loud, but he just let her know. She's the one who went and told people, oh my gosh, he told me my business. She's the one who told people what he told her. But it was between the two of them. Like he didn't spread that conversation, right? So it's like you have to you have to get to a point as a child of God. And when you're a child of God, you cannot have when you're a Christian, you cannot be out here having the same reactions to problem as unbelievers. Unbelievers are quick to throw somebody out. Unbelievers are quick to rebuke you. They are quick to, I just don't see it for you. They are quick to tell you you're not gonna make it. They are quick to gossip about you. They are quick to say, oh, you're done. Oh, that's it, you're done. Like that's how unbelievers move. They throw the baby in the bathwater. You know what I'm saying? Unbelievers, they like to be forgiven, but they don't like to forgive other people. You know what I'm saying? They're very righteous. They're very self-righteous. They're a lot. They're a lot. You know what I'm saying? But it's like if you identify as a Christian, for as much as somebody's initial reaction behavior might shock you, you're like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? But you got to get to a place where you ask yourself, I might not like a bitch, and that's okay. But just because you don't like a bitch does not mean you should not pray for her. You know what I'm saying? Because what would Jesus do? He prayed for her. Because something is wrong. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. There's something deeply broken in Portia. And it's like and she's looking for it. And unfortunately, she's looking in the wrong direction. And if you remember too, Portia used to preach in the church. So how did she lose herself that she's at the church? And maybe she's a prodigal son, a prodigal daughter. But I truly hope that she goes back to the church. I really hope that she goes back to her roots. Because a child, when you have a calling over your life, when you have anointing over your life, if you don't do what God has called you to do because you want to be down with the world, you want people to like you, you're gonna go through some situations. Just like Jonas. He kept trying to avoid, right? He kept trying to avoid going to Nineveh, and it just went from bad to worse. It went from bad to worse until he agreed to go to Nineveh. As soon as he agreed to go to that place, everything went right back to order. But I'm like, I really pray for her because I don't want her to damage her daughter. And like right now, PJ is young enough that she's little enough to forget all this foolishness, right? Like not maybe all of it, but it's not going to really affect her relationship with men because she's a little baby, right? And so I pray that before she becomes aware of what a relationship should be between a man and a woman, I pray that Portia finds whatever she's missing. I hope that she finds the courage to work on herself and to heal herself. And I hope that, she really gets I don't know, I don't want to say reach rock bottom, but I really hope that, and even though this situation is super messy and super weird, I hope that it's enough foolishness that she will get to her knees, just like Paul on his way to Damascus, be like, what the heck am I doing? And why am I doing all of this? You know what I'm saying? You guys, whatever you avoid, like whatever internal pain, whatever trauma, childhood trauma, whatever you avoid working on, whatever you avoid fixing, it's going to turn into a weapon. And it'll be a weapon it's going to work towards your own self-destruction. You have to work on the things that have really, truly hurt you. You have to work on them. Whatever you avoid, you will have to face it eventually. You have to face it. Life, you don't hide. You can only hide for so long. But whatever you avoid, you will have to face it. You have to face it. We all do. I had to. We all do. God's only going to let you run away from your problems for so long. But at one point, you have to pull the Band-Aid and you have to face oh, my childhood was like this. Oh, my daddy didn't do this. My mom didn't do this. Da, da, da. You have to face it. And it's very scary, but you don't have to do it alone. You have therapists, you have counselors, you have psychologists. There are a lot of people who are equipped to help you pull the Band-Aid and then heal, and you're not going to die. You know what I mean? You don't have to live your life in fear. You don't have to. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to live your life in fear. And then doing foolishness because you're too afraid to deal with the real root of your issues. Do you know what I mean? You can't look for a father figure in a husband. That is crazy. A father is a father. A husband is a husband. You know what I'm saying? But it's like something is wrong. And the same thing goes for Nikki. Because for as much as she's really successful, I think she's also been through a lot of trauma. I think she's been through a lot of trauma. I think Nikki's been through a lot of trauma. Because I remember, having to sell the mixtapes on the back of a car, having to be homeless. Like, who knows what happened to her? How do we even know that she was not sexually assaulted? We don't know. Because we take for granted what it takes to become famous like that. We don't know. We don't know if she has like serious body issues. We don't know if she has like serious self-esteem issues. A lot of ladies who act very cocky and super, super confident tend to have very low self-esteem. They just bark really loud in public. But when you leave them by themselves, and when you look at the kind of man they pick, it goes to show you, she puts on a good front. But I don't think that's who she is in her personal life. Because a lot of your favorite artists, they live through a character, a persona. This is not even the real them. Like, we don't even really know these people. We know the product. We know what they had to create to make people like them. These are creation. Like, a lot of stuff is manufactured. These are all personas. We don't even know these people for real, for real. We don't know them. But it could be, and I'm being very serious. I'm like, if a young lady is homeless, I don't know, moving to Atlanta, having to go, I don't know. Like me, Marlene, and especially when I look at that Young Money crew, yeah, I would not put sexual abuse past anybody. I wouldn't. Because the rap, hip hop is full of misogyny. Hip hop is full of human trafficking. Hip hop is very disgusting to women. Hip hop is full of men who feel like you have to sleep with them for you to move up. So I don't know what happened to her. Because, and I'm not trying to be offensive, so please don't take it that way. But when you look at that situation with the lady Jennifer, I'm like, maybe for Nikki to be okay with it, for Nikki to marry that man, maybe it happened to her also. Maybe it happened to her. And maybe in her mind, she feels like she got over it. So why you can't get over it? Because if you haven't been through something, I don't see how you live with that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you haven't lived, I don't know. That's a lot. Like, damn, I don't know if I want to be associated with that because that scares me. But if you're comfortable, or if you're okay, be associated with someone that has this, and then you find ways to justify it in your head. Maybe it happened to her. And maybe it happened to her on multiple occasions. And one thing I have learned, and don't take me on it because I'm not an anthropologist for real, for real. I'm an anthropologist in my head. But in real life, I sell makeup. But in my head, I'm an anthropologist. But a lot of times, what I have noticed, right? Women who have experienced trauma, yeah, I'm sorry, Lily. Women who have experienced trauma tend to shame girls who have experienced the same trauma as them. Marlene, what do you mean? A lot of ladies who have been sexually assaulted know what it is to be sexually assaulted, will be the first one to cuss a woman out for coming out about being sexually assaulted. Pay attention. Because they want you to, shut up, be quiet, go away. Because when they came out and they told their story about being abused, about being sexually assaulted, they were told to shut the fuck up. They were told, shut up, hush about, deal with it. It's not real. It happened in your head. They were also shamed about other women into shutting the fuck up. Then you look at it, come to find out, mom was also sexually assaulted. And her mother told her to shut the fuck up. Then you go a little further. Grandma was also sexually assaulted. So that demon is in the family. And nobody wants to, like they say, speak up and shame the devil. But a lot of times, when you see that some ladies are not empathetic to a woman who's been sexually assaulted, to a woman who talks about being sexually assaulted, most likely she was also assaulted. And nobody gave her any help. Nobody gave her help. Nobody gave her mercy. Nobody gave her prayers. Nobody gave her support. Nobody gave her the tools. She had to cope with that psychosis all by herself and pretty much numb herself. So she feels like, well, if I got over it, well, I turned out okay. Well, it don't bother me no more. So how come you're not quiet? How come you're trying to seek justice when the rest of us have had to live all these years without any kind of justice? So y'all, I be going deep with my stuff because I'm like, this is not normal behavior. And when people exhibit stuff that's not normal behavior, I start to look at things now from a spiritual angle. Like, no, something is wrong here. Something is deeply wrong. Something is deeply wrong. But the majority of hip women in hip hop are sexually trafficked. And that's why they run as fast as they can to get a husband so they can stop being so people can stop taking advantage of them. Like if Beyonce did not attach herself to Jay-Z at such a young age, she probably would have been an industry pass around. Because being married to Jay or even being Jay-Z's girlfriend, Jay-Z's fiance, Jay-Z's wife, I'm sure there's a lot of crap Beyonce don't have to do. Dealing with producers, sound engineers, writers, whatever. Because people respect Jay-Z. So they would never try that shit. But if she was just by herself trying to make it as an artist, Beyonce might have been an industry pass around. Because they're gonna make it so hard for you to make it, you're gonna end up on your knees giving somebody a blowjob. I'm serious. The price these young ladies have to pay to be famous, I think a lot of us, we don't know. Like we take that shit for granted. Because they blind us with the weave and they blind us with the luxury stuff. They blind us with the labels. But there's a whole lot of human trafficking happening right in front of your eyes, disguised as woman empowerment. But a lot of women in hip hop do not own their bodies. A lot of women in hip hop don't own their look. They don't own their bodies. They don't own their look. They don't own their voice. They don't even own the kind of lyrics they put on. They're told to sing about the licking and the sucking. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but the thing is, like, literally, like, if we want to talk about the R. Kelly situation, right? For as much as, like, Portia herself was also an adult, but you can be an adult and be completely stupid. So sometimes it's very confusing. But one thing I will say about R. Kelly, and the thing that made it very confusing for people, and the thing that make it really confusing a lot for a lot of young ladies is that R. Kelly was being praised by Black people. Like, and this is where, you see, and this is where sometimes when we don't call evil evil, and we play around with evil, we dance to evil, we welcome evil, you know what I'm saying? It creates confusion for younger people. Because they're like, well, this person's supposed to be bad, but everybody likes him. This person's supposed to be evil, but before this whole thing that happened recently, people were still praising R. Kelly. So then maybe in your head, you're like, well, I heard he did those things. It might not be bad because people still fuck with him. People still buy the music. People still collaborating with him. He's still touring. He's still making money. So it causes confusion. It causes confusion. Just like even, not trying to be offensive, right? Just like in Black culture in America, right? The majority of rappers are criminals. They are serious criminals. The majority of rappers are not people you want in your neighborhood. You don't even want them around your children. Even as a woman, you would even want a majority of rappers around you. They're not good people. But we dance to their music. We stream their music. We help them to have 4, 5, 6 million followers. They are called by Gucci to wear Gucci. They are called by Louis Vuitton to wear Louis. So when somebody makes music about selling drugs, killing people, oh, I didn't used to bra bra bra. You know what I'm saying? If Gucci, if Louis Vuitton is calling on people who are promoting killing other Black people, like how when you're a child, even when you are a young adult, you know, oh, maybe it's not that bad. Bra 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 bra. I'm a shooter. You know what I'm saying? Like, and this stuff, it causes confusion. Because people who do wicked things are rewarded for being wicked. And then you wonder why so many young girls don't want to go to school. What's the point? She goes to school, she gonna come out with student loans and debt and problems. Then she might have to do like 200 applications a day to get 0 interviews. She takes off her clothes, starts wearing Fashion Nova, and starts twerking for the gram. She might have 100,000 followers in 6 months. Then she can start charging companies. And this is why when we allow weird ass behavior to take place and we reward that kind of behavior, it causes degeneracy. And degeneracy is when wrong is right and right is wrong. This is what we have here. Right? When you see young girls trying to have children with people who make music about killing people. When you have pretty young girls who have their whole future ahead, but rather wait for somebody who's in prison, because we have a culture that says, there's a Black culture in America that says be a ride or die, as opposed to You're young. Live your life. He made his choice. He's locked up. Why should a pretty girl like you wait by the phone every night at 6 p.m. for someone who made the choice to lose his freedom? But a black girl is going to be praised for stopping to live her life to wait for somebody who's in prison who chose to live his life amongst a bunch of men. Make it make sense, right? But that's what is called degeneracy. When you start praising people, exactly, like Sandra said last night again, right? Versus a lot of the people they bring up there, degenerates. Bone Thugs and Harmony versus 3 6 Mafia. And Lazy Bone, I think it's Lazy Bone, right? He always brought harm to the group. This man don't want to change. Got 13 kids by 13 different women. He don't want to change. Every time, one time they performed at the MTV Music Award, he got arrested on the spot. Like he's so destructive to the group. There goes another one. So destructive. Because the three members who actually kept Bone Thugs going, the three members who actually collabed with Mariah Carey, who kept the legacy, who worked, like, they didn't do nothing. They were chill. But he always brought harm to the group. Always missing from video shoots. Always missing from session. Always missing in and out of prison. And he don't want to change. And he's so bitter. He's a bitter person. He's a failure. So talented, but so damaged. And don't want to get no help. You see what I'm saying? And he thinks, I don't know, he thinks this is like the Hip Hop Source Award in 1995 or 1996. This is not the Hip Hop Source Award. What are you doing? What are you doing? This is ridiculous. But that's who he is. That's who he is. And I really think he's bitter. And I think deep down inside, the fact that the other group members did better than him, it really hurts him. So wherever he goes, when they invite him, he's just going to drag them down because he's not happy with himself. He's not happy with himself. He's very toxic. He's very toxic because he never tried to fix his stuff, fix his mind, take care of his business, so that way he could be there for his team, right? But anyways, whatever. You see what I mean? But so I'm like, so I can, not that I can justify what Portia did, but I can understand, right? Just like today, right? Today, because Megan Thee Stallion wears bras that are too small for her, all the girls are now wearing bras that are too, like the bikini bras. Everybody wants to wear bikini bras that don't fit them. So I'm saying, like, when bad behavior is rewarded, it becomes a trend. And the stuff that people would normally do, they do it. Because people love to assimilate. Even if what they're assimilating into is bad for them, they'll do it. There are a lot of black boys who don't want to be drug dealers. You know what I mean? There are a lot of black boys, they're not even made for the streets. They don't have it in them. They do not have it in them. Like, a lot of black boys do not want to be drug dealers. A lot of black boys don't want to be in a trap house. A lot of black boys don't even want to get in trouble. But the culture, the conditioning says, oh, you black, you got to have 100 bands by the time you're 17. No. What the heck? Maybe you have 100 bands of Roman noodles. I don't know. But if you're a young black kid and you see that the guys who usually have the pretty girls are out here doing all kinds of crime, you start thinking like, oh, I got to be hard. I got to do crime. I got to go shoot people so I can have a pretty girl. Like, what message does it send to young? Because young people are very impressionable. These people would not have millions of followers. They would not have all this money if they were not influencing people. The mere fact that you could just rap about foolishness and you have like 5-10 million followers, oh yeah, you're very influential. The mere fact that if you have a baby with the right kind of rapper, your life can completely change. These people are influential. Young people and their brains that are not fully formed are easily impressed by foolishness. But when you have someone like Lil Durk, who's been on murder trials on numerous occasions, I'm sure he's killed people. You know what I'm saying? But when he has a pretty girl like that girl that he's with, like, what kind of message does that send to young men? Oh, you can kill people. You can go on multiple murder trials, and then you'll end up with a very pretty girl. And she'll carry your kids. And then she'll carry the Glock. Like, we create, like, the way, I'm telling you, the way we engage with content sometimes, the way we engage with social media as a people, because we have to take accountability for that too. we send the wrong signals to young people. We said to young kids, don't steal. But a lot of rappers is criminals. Like I remember when I was younger too, they used to have the song Annie Up, right? There used to be the song Annie Up, Annie Up, but Annie Up is criminal. Because they say kidnap that fool, punk that fool, rob that fool. Like it's about going up to somebody and robbing them. Like it's not a good song. Like I mean, like it's lit. Like the beat is hot. Like the energy's everything. But it's actually about robbing somebody. Kidnap that fool. F that fool. Like it's crazy. But any up is not smack that. Kill that. It's not good. It's about you rob. You walk up to a person, you rob him, you kidnap him, you put him somewhere, and you go and you abuse him. Like oh my gosh, but you know what I mean? But then, like, we used to sing Annie Up. But it's not a good message. I was listening to it the other day. I was like, but damn, this stuff is violent. This song is so violent. But like everybody was on there. Busta was on there. Remy was on there. So when you see your favorite rappers talk about Annie Up, kidnap that fool. Me, I'm African, so I ain't gonna do it. My mom's gonna kill me. But a lot of people, they don't have parents checking on them like that. They don't have teachers checking on them. They don't have people who expect anything from them. So I think that shit is funny because when you the song Annie Up, it's so lit. Like it's a vibe. It truly is a vibe. Like you actually want to go out there and do that shit. Cause it sounds so fun. Like, kidnap that fool. You know what I mean? Steal that fool. Grab his chain. Andy up. Get him, get him, get him, get him, get him. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you actually like, yo, I wonder what it is to rob somebody real quick. You know, but that's not real life though. It's a song. But girl, it feels real though. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, kidnap that fool. Get him, get him, get him, get him, you know? But you can't do it though. It's against the law. You can't do that to people though. But like sometimes culture sends the wrong messaging to people. But there was a time people knew that R. Kelly had peed on somebody. He peed on that girl. There were videos of R. Kelly peeing on 14-year-olds and he still got away. And people thought that made him a goat. Gary said, I promise you, kidnapping he said, I promise you, kidnapping someone is not fun, especially if they're violent. You're so stupid. Gary, have you kidnapped somebody, Gary? Gary, don't be bringing the feds on my channel right now. I don't want no smoke. I'm trying to sell my eyeshadow palettes, right? Don't do that, Gary. And if you did, turn yourself in. Okay. But anyways, right? But it's like, so sometimes I can see why young people, even a young adults, do stupid shit. Because the culture, the current vibe, the current mindset is rooted in degeneracy. But I'm telling you, there was a video of R. Kelly peeing on that little girl. And people, when he got off, people were cheering for him. Oh, they were trying to take another black man down. Oh, I remember that time. At that time, people thought he was the GOAT. Like, oh, he beat that case. They trying to take a black man down. They come from a black man's paper. But now people have evolved. They're like, oh no, this is wrong. But R. Kelly, people knew he was with Aaliyah. When he made the song Age and Nothing But a Number, people knew exactly who he was talking about. They didn't care. Beep, beep, you remind me of my Jeep. He said that Aaliyah reminded him of his Jeep. Can nobody sit here and tell me they didn't know that this man was making music about a 15-year-old? Like, stop. But because he's a hit maker, R. Kelly has a gift. Unfortunately, he has a mental disease because he was also molested. So that he's out here molesting people's children. But even the one album cover, Age and Nothing But a Number, he's out there in the background like a little creep. It's weird. It is weird. But because people wanted hits. And that's the thing, right? Even today, people know something is evil, but because they don't want to lose access to it. Oh, I don't want to lose access to you. I don't want to lose my paycheck. I don't want to lose her friendship. People know what this person is doing right there is evil, but they keep their mouth shut because they think about themselves. A lot of people are not courageous. A lot of people don't have the fear of God. People fear more not being able to pay their bills than having integrity, losing everything, and being approved by God. People don't have the fear of God in them. You see what I'm saying? People don't have a fear of God in them. So we live in a society today where so many people are unpunished. Look at Jeffrey Epstein. All these people knew what this man was doing. You see, exactly. She said she thought it was all lies because that was the narrative. Everybody was supporting R. Kelly. Oh, they lying on him. They trying to take a black man down. Womp 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 womp. And when you hear something so often and it's so loud, you start to repeat it without even checking the facts. Oh yeah, if everybody says it, it must be true. And that's how it usually is with people, not just black people. That's how it is with people, period. If enough people say it, a lot of times people end up thinking it's true. Well, if everybody says it, it has to be true. No. A lot of time people could be saying the same thing, but it's super dead ass wrong. But they know you're not gonna fact check because most people lazy. You know what I'm trying to say? A lot of people lazy. You know what I'm saying? But just because you hear something a lot from a whole lot of people doesn't make it true. Because a lot of people don't even read. They just copy paste. Even a lot of magazines, like a lot of articles, a lot of publications, copy and paste. Sometimes you'll go on a website, you type a certain issue. Every single article that comes out, it's like word for word. It's the same thing. It's like, what the heck? So you recognize that even the media is organized propaganda. Like there's one person who writes one story and they send the same story to everybody, just change a few words. But when you read it, it's the same thing. And that's how you recognize like we're bred, like we're in a plantation. You know what I mean? They force everybody to think the same. But now we're a bit more woke because of Me Too. Oh no, we don't want R. Kelly. But there was a time where people just glanced over what he was doing because at that time R. Kelly was at his prime and R. Kelly was very much a hit maker. R. Kelly's really good at music. If you mess around with R. Kelly's, you're gonna get a hit. And people won Grammys. And that's where he also had leverage, right? You know what I mean? That's why he had leverage because people are greedy. And if you're a wicked person and you have something that a lot of people need, they will overlook your sins. I kid you not. The curse is to be a bad person and to not be someone that people need. Like right now, people don't need R. Kelly. Music is different, right? Like today in the music industry, you don't have to sell an album. Right? Like R. Kelly, he could produce an entire album. Today, you just might need a one song and you're good to go, right? Today, also, you don't need to be a good lyricist. You don't have to have great lyrics because most of them songs, I don't even know what they're saying. I be up in the block, crap, my car, you know, you know how like that. Come to my house. Shorty said, grab a car, grab the key, let's go. I don't come. That's how I move. Ba ba da 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 da. I be black, I be yellow, I see green, I see money. Where I go, where I be, bitches be mad all the time. They be mad. You know, like this is like we are dealing with like we are being we like the kind of serenades, like the musical serenades that we get today are coming from kids who were left behind. You know what I mean? Because they went to school after Bush left, right? So many of them didn't even get like basic English, right? Because this is crazy. I'm like, oh my gosh, this person has dyslexia. Like we are like the majority of the rappers today, the young rappers today have severe dyslexia. They have dyslexia. This is not normal. Where I be, bitches be man, all the time. That's the Glock, that's the wrist, that's the ice, that's the girl. Then I come, then you go, and we be. It's my me, I'm Marlene, and I can. Yes, I rap, and I twerk, and I win. Like, are you serious right now? But this is what we want. And this is why I tell you that the majority of people do not have good taste. Because this is not music. Like, are you serious right now? What kind of person you know talks like 2 syllables at a time? Where I be, that's where I mean, that's where I go. You know what I'm saying? Like even your boy, like even Barney. Barney has more eloquence than most of these rappers. Even Big Bird, and that's freaking Sesame Street. Okay, like they break stuff down for kids, and then they have more eloquence than some of these rappers. Like you put Big Bird, you put Barney out here, he gonna have a viral song on TikTok. Like, hey, Barney can't rhyme. It's like, bitch, Barney been rhyming. But this is where we got to. So like the kind of stuff R. Kelly was doing is no longer necessary because now there's auto tunes. Now there's like stupidity. There's chop chop chop. There's like one syllable per song. So it's like he's not needed now. So because he's not needed now, all of a sudden people now see the evil that's in R. Kelly. But when music was at a certain space, right, and you couldn't go through social media to get a Grammy. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of songs today, a lot of these rappers, like they're like, oh, like for example, and I don't mean no offense by that, right? But it's like a lot of these singers today and these rappers today who have Grammys compared to Nicki Minaj, they have Grammys because of TikTok. Because today the metrics are different, right? Like the metrics are different. Like Megan the Stallion, in all respect, right? In all respect, and she can take it how she wants to take it, that's fine. But Megan the Stallion, in all her right mind, her sober mind, her drunk mind, her whatever mind, right? She can never tell herself that the Grammys that she has is truly because she's that great of a lyricist. Please don't, sis. You know what I'm saying? Because she could never. Like her pen to Nicki Minaj's pen, she cannot. She cannot. You know what I mean? Like, if you were to do like a rap battle right now between Nicki and anybody, they cannot. They cannot. Not even back in her day, Remy was that girl. Remy was a savage. Because I love hip hop. Like, Remy was a savage. Like, Remy used to do like underground battles because they used to put those on BET. Like, late at night, BET, they'd be in the basement. Like, Remy would just chop your head off. She's evil. She's very evil. You know what I'm saying? But it's like people, Nicki doesn't have a Grammy, but Megan does. Yeah, because Megan is on a TikTok generation where you don't really have to make music like great rap like that. You just have to go viral. Like now you get Grammys for going viral, right? When Nicki was at her prime, you know what I'm saying? You had to write. You know, like this is, and I'm not trying to be offensive towards Megan, right? But here is Megan who has Grammys, but she can't even sell out a 5,000 place arena. Like, it's like, you know, so you start to recognize like these accolades from the industry, they ain't shit. Cause, you know, Nicki, like if Nicki wants to come to the Superdome, that shit gonna be packed. And that's where it matters. You know what I mean? But today, a lot of the awards that we see, MTV Awards, all these stupid awards, is based on TikTok. TikTok not real music. It's gimmicky. That's not stuff like, I'm not trying to be offensive, but it is what it is, right? But a lot of the music that Megan makes, it's people not gonna remember that music. It's not gonna be it's not gonna be memorable. Like she don't have like, and not even just Nicki. Let's talk even about Little Kim. Not trying to be offensive, but like whether it's Meg the Stallion, whether she Tina Snow, I don't know what she happens to be. Both of her egos put together, alter egos put together, right? Even songs like It's All About the Benjamins, right? Even songs from Little Kim like Ah Nana gets all the Nana, like the like, you know what I mean? No times for fake ones, just sipping crystals with the great ones. Like she don't like hip, like what? There's nothing in Megan's is all about twerking, getting drunk and twerking. That's it. But it's like when you think about exactly right, like you know, but when you think about like the kind of music also Little Kim made, whether she wrote all the rhymes or she got help from Biggie, but it's like it was like a certain cockiness with it. And she was singing about sex. She's oh, lick me where it's hot. You know what I'm saying? But think about Kim though. Even though you knew I know she could be a freak, but a lot of the girls who sing about sex also tend to be very lazy in bed. So I don't really know. But even though the music was sexual, you felt like she owned that shit. Like she just owned the room. Like Kim demanded respect. She demanded respect. It was very sexy. It was very sexualized. I ain't gonna lie. It was a lot. But Kim demanded respect though. And even though she's very petite, right? You know. But today, these young girls, they be rapping today. I don't know. They sing a lot about sex, but like the respect thing is not there. You know what I mean? Like you knew, like even if Kim, exactly, Lauryn Hill also, right? And it's like Lauryn Hill hasn't made music in 20 years. But like the miseducation Lauryn Hill was that good. You see what I'm saying? Even Erykah Badu, she's good. I don't know. I never slept with her, but my imagination and my observations would lead me to believe that Erica Badu is great in bed. Because the way these men become cuckoo after they leave her, something happens there. Like she has to be an experience. Because Andre became crazy after messing with her. Common still can't get married after being messing with her. It's like, what do you do to these men, right? But it's like, you never seen her talk about the twerk twerk or the whatever, whatever. But Erica Badu, don't mess with her. This woman sells like essence that smells like her vagina. You don't want no smoke. Like you don't want no smoke, right? You don't want no smoke. Like even Jilly from Philly. Like I think Jilly is a freak also. Like I really think Jilly's a freak. But it's like the way they do their sexuality stuff, like they know, like you don't want no smoke. Let me put it that way. I don't know what the freak Erica Badu does to these men, but we need to talk about it because something is going on, sis, because I don't understand it. I'm like, what's happening? But they become different. I don't know. And I think Common, for him to get married, he needs to go ask Erica to take whatever she put on him off. Because she sure probably did put some on him. I don't know what it is. But girl, there is something about Badu and the voodoo that she do. Okay? I don't know. But she got some sexual voodoo going on. Because these men, honey, they be a whole different breed. They go from being gangsters to being, I don't know. It's like, what she do to them people? Girl, where's she from? New Orleans? You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy like that, right? But it's like, I don't know what she does to them, but there is a difference. There really is a before and after. Like, oh, before and after. Like, dang, Andre changed a lot. Common changed a lot. Them men, they be different people. It's like, woo, Badu, and the voodoo that she do. Hoo, hoo, hoo. I'm like, is she from New Orleans? Child, I need to go look her up where she from, child, because this lady can't be a worry about them. I'm in the. But she a freak though. But she ain't gonna let you know though. But when you look at her, you look the way she move, her energy, and the way that men be different people. Like, girl, what kind of freak a leak do you put on these people? Let me find out. Maybe I gotta do it to James, so he gonna give me all the money that I want. I probably need to go take some classes with Miss Badu. Girl, if your husband ain't give you what you want, I think we need to go make a whole coalition and go learn from Erica Badu. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Okay, yes, ma'am. I'm like, ooh, is that what I'm supposed to do? Chloe said, Lord. Like, ooh. She's like, Marlene, this is what I was like, girl, don't tell me that's what you did to Andre. I'm telling you, she did something to the man, and now no other woman is doing it to them, and they don't want to. Yeah, look, Abby said, Marlene, come on, let's go. Y'all hot mess. I don't know what she does to these people, but she does something. Does she massage their testicles? I don't know. Does she like rub the penis? I don't know. What does she do? Girl. 50 Shades of Grey. Does she spank them? I don't know. Is she a dominatrix? I don't know. Maybe she spanks them. You think she spanks them? Like all the stuff, like tie them up and then spank them? Maybe like spank the little balls a little bit? I don't know. Oh, this video's going on Patreon. But like it really does make you wonder. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure some of it is spirit, but one of the best way to for a woman to dominate a man is through sex. Now, I'm sure you could do roots and all kinds of stuff, voodoo and spells. I'm sure you could do a whole lot of stuff on a person, right? Most definitely, right? But it's like one of the best ways and easiest way and cheapest ways to dominate a man really is through sex. So I'm like, she must also have good sex though. You know what I'm saying? But she never be boasting about the kitty cat. You know what I mean? It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. But it got you wondering though, right? So it's like, but so I feel like today, like a lot of people don't need R. Kelly because people don't want great music. People treat music like Fashion Nova. Today music has become a fast fashion industry. You don't even have to make a full album now, right? Like even with like Spotify where you can like shuffle, you can skip through an album. Like people are not trying to get a good quality of work from like start to finish. People want to skip through stuff, right? So You think about that, you're like, well, damn. Like, do people what was I gonna say? Do people truly enjoy good music now? No, they don't. They treat music like fast fashion. They like something for 30 minutes and okay, I want something new. I want something new. So like R. Kelly is not needed now. So because he's not needed by a whole lot of people, they don't care what happens to him. They don't care. But back then, music was very different. The music industry was getting different. Getting a Grammy, getting an MTV award, getting the hip hop award, BT award, like it, like the standards were very different. Like being charting on the Billboard was very different. I think there was only one Billboard kind of thing. Now there's like so many different Billboard. Now you can also chart on Spotify. So music has changed so much because of the iPhone, because of Apple. So today, people like R. Kelly and their talent are not truly needed. You can make great music now with a computer because the taste, the musical taste for people is garbage. It's pure trash. It is trash. And they wonder why Rihanna don't want to make music. What's the point? So she can compete with TikTok? She ain't got time for that. She is too accomplished of an artist to compete with stupidity on TikTok. Do you know what I mean? Because TikTok is not about quality music. It's about like whatever people can dance to. And if you are a very accomplished artist, if you worked a lot, spent a lot of money to get to where you're at, you're not competing with people on TikTok. No. I'd rather quit music than to do that. This is stupid. And that's why I see why Adele reached out to Spotify like, no, do not shuffle my songs. Like, what the heck? Stop doing the stupidity. But because she's Adele, they're going to listen to her, right? In terms of African American music, not this crap, but in terms of like iconic African American music, like what African Americans are known for, like R&B, rock and roll, jazz. When you look at like the when you look at the, how can I say this? The legacy of African American music. In that term, yes, Rihanna is not that talented. And she's not from here. She's from Barbados, right? So you're not gonna put like a Whitney Houston expectation on her. She ain't from here. You know what I mean? She don't have the culture, the background, the African American church to learn how to sing like that. Like the way people sing in African American churches, like it's a gift. Like it's a gift from legacy. They're born like that. To be African American or anybody that goes to an African American church every Sunday, like you get a whole concert for free. Like, damn, sis. Damn. And they all sing like that. Like, it's crazy. Like, it's really, really crazy, right? So she's not going to have that. But she's more like a girl from a different country who's black, got the Caribbean in her. So she's like more like a commercial pop artist. But nonetheless, the people invested a lot. They've invested a lot. She also has invested a lot to be like that pop star person, right? So, and then like, the people that like, even the songwriters that she works with, right? Like Umbrella, Diamonds, or for like whatever, Diamonds, whatever she does. Like she, like all the songs that the ballads, all these ballads that I think they're Swedish, those people who write for her, like that was a lot of money. That's a lot of money. So they've invested a lot. And you're going to go spend all this money, all the record label, all this money, so that somebody can just go on SoundCloud and in 2 minutes make a hit and they go viral on TikTok. Huh? No, I rather save my money because it's a product. Like these songs are not cheap to make. And at her level, people expect a certain kind of sound for her, like sound engineers, certain like her music, her lyrics, her text, like the editing. Like it's a lot. It ain't cheap. Rihanna music ain't cheap. Right, but you gonna have somebody go on SoundCloud real quick and play with some chopped, they chop the stuff on their little Apple stuff, and then boom, they have a whole hit all over TikTok. It's like, why? Yeah, Umbrella, yeah, exactly, right. And who knows how much she paid Neo for that? Neo wrote for a lot. He wrote Irreplaceable too for Beyonce, right? But she's like, oh, she wrote too. I'm like, Beyonce, just because you added a comma, sis. Just because you added a word, right? But Neo wrote that song. He's a songwriter. He's a songwriter. Beyonce really is not a songwriter like that. That's why she has like, that's why sometimes like certain categories in the Grammy is hard for her to get because performance is awesome, everything is awesome, but the lyrics, Beyonce's lyrics sometimes can be very elementary, right? They're not like, and that's where like I wish That's me. What do I know? Don't listen to me. I'm not Beyonce rich. I'm not Beyonce famous, so it doesn't really matter. But for me, I do wish that as she gets older, I wish Beyonce would be more like Celine Dion. And because Celine Dion, whether it's in English, whether it's in French, her text is amazing. And that's the strength of Adele. Like Adele's not gonna move a lot. I don't even think she can move like that. But Adele's gonna give you great text. Like, and it's so well written, you feel like you see it. It's like a movie. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm in it. Oh, I can feel it, right? That's where Adele gets people, right? Beyonce, for her to get you, she has to dance and put all the performances, which is very exhausting. It is a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. So I do wish that she will consider. I do wish that Beyonce would consider, like, maybe working with other songwriters to be more like a Celine Dion, because as she gets older, she can't do all of this. That's too much. Like, now it's cute, but I'm like, does she want to be 60 and have to do like the ones and twos, like look at Janet Jackson. Janet Jackson built her career with a lot of dance move. But like now that she's older, it's like she's tired. Does she want to give you Rhythm Nation at 60? No. But if you have more that's why Mariah Carey makes money. Because Mariah Carey has she has a lot of love ballads. She has a lot of love ballads. Mariah writes ballads a lot. So you can just sit there and just sing, like, you got me feeling emotions bigger than I ever been. Whatever she says over there, right? Because they're ballads, and ballads are classic, and they don't. You can age with them gracefully, right? But it's kind of hard, you know. I don't even know if Diana Ross has a lot of. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. But what do I know? I'm not in the music industry. I sell makeup. I don't want to hurt nobody. I don't want to offend no one. So, um, but yeah. So maybe that's why she don't want to do it. Like, whatever. And she probably makes more money. Celine writes beautiful text. I don't know if she actually writes her song. Somebody writes it for her. But I'm telling you, because I listen to her music in French and I listen to her music in English, and I'm telling you, in both languages, they are impeccable. She has one song in French. J'ai compris tous les mots. J'ai bien compris, merci. Incroyable et nouveau. C'est ainsi par ici que les choses ont changé, que les fleurs ont fané, que le temps d'avant, c'était le temps d'avant. And I learned that song in 1995, and I still remember it. The text is so beautiful. She, like the one for Titanic, right? Like it's like, and I wish Beyonce would go more like that, so that she can age like Barbara Streisand. You just stand there, you're beautiful, put your hair in an updo, put all your diamonds, and like, that's it. Cause I'm like, at 60, does she really want to do single ladies? That's too much. That's too much work. You know, like now she just needs to like just do a bunch of love ballads and like have that glowy angelic light on her. Like she just be like a little angel. Yeah, because Mariah has a lot of ballads, a lot. Because ballads are classic. You know, they're classic. I'm like, that's where I would. This is where I would want to put Beyonce. Like more love ballads, not too much physicality. Like I mean, I guess she can still do it for another 10 years, but I'm like, I want her to like slowly go into like love ballads, so that way when she's like 50, 60, 70, 80, she don't have to move much. They just dress her up, put like bunch of big old diamonds on her, have the light so she can like glisten like an angel, and be like, ooh, 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 I would have loved you, but you chose to go. She said, "Oh yeah, my your friends, we'd be on some stupid stuff over there." These girls were crazy. Oh, Jean-Jacques, oh, he's really good. They're like, and I would have loved you, but you chose to go. But Dangerously in Love, exactly that one. Stuff like that. Even though my heart breaks and touch me. And she does that stuff where she like, queens love, to live, to lie, dangerously in love. I'm in love with you. You set me free. Like that lane for her, I think it'll be beautiful. I think it will be so beautiful. And then she can wear them expensive ass Oscar de la Renta gown, expensive ass Givenchy gowns, like, you know what I mean? Like, just, and look like a little angel. And maybe sing for the Pope. I don't know. You know what I mean? But I think like now she's trying to compete with the young girls, like with the booty all out, the crop tops, the Ivy Park. But I'm like, Beyonce, like, you are a whole standard. Don't be trying to be like them little girls. Y'all not the same. You know, Beyonce's a standard. Like, I don't even think she realizes that. But it's like, I get it. Like, you want to like you're sexy, yet you still got it. But it's like, nah, B. Leave that to them little kids. Leave that over there. You need to go age with your diamonds. Like, your diamonds and your gowns. Okay? I'm just saying. Don't come for me. I'm innocent. You know. Yeah, they don't. But the white people will love it. White folks will love it. And you know, that's all you need sometimes, huh? But I'm like, because you got to look at it. Like, it's just like any business, right? You got to look at it like, you know, look at Adele and how she wins. And it's like, she doesn't do much. Like, even the stuff she did recently, all the little concerts she did, like, she didn't have to spend that much money. Beyonce with the dancers, the band, the people, like 100 people for you to perform, that's expensive. That is very, very expensive. You know what I mean? That is super, super expensive. Like, I don't want to spend that kind of money. I sure don't. You know what I'm saying? But Adele, she's enough by herself. She don't need all the people. So I'm like, 'cause that's a lot of money. Like for the homecoming stuff, for the Coachella stuff, everybody was wearing Balmain. How much did they have to spend to dress like 200 people in Balmain though? That's a lot of money. I mean, it looks good, but it's like in terms of money and business. I mean, money's not a problem for her because she's rich, but I don't know. But when I look at Adele though, she does not spend a lot of money. She'll buy a really nice gown, do her nice makeup, and do the same cat eye. You know, that one old good cat eye. You know what I'm saying? And then she's good to go. But here you are like spending a whole lot of money like that. It's like, I don't know. But I think in the future though, Beyonce should like keep it cute though. Like go more for the love ballads. Like stuff that you can have also like for your 60s, your 70s, your 80s, when you're not gonna be able to do so much like physical stuff. And then you hit them a little bit with the single ladies real quick, but then you go back to your love ballads, right? Because it's a lot. I'm like physically like it's a lot. That's a lot for a person. That's a lot for a person. So yes, my peoples, that's what it is, y'all. But this video is gonna go on Patreon. But my thing is like, you know, like honestly though, fight for your business, fight for your brand, fight for what you believe in, right? Don't let people like smear your name. Don't let people make you feel like, oh, you're charging too much. I mean, also don't try to be excessive, but you know, but yeah, if people don't tell the truth about what you're up to, like, you know, you gotta set people straight, a little bit of straightening, like Quavo said, right? We can swap it out. We can swap it out. But you know, it's important because I was like, what the heck, girl, don't try to play me. The B palette is $52 and the shipping is 15, so it comes out to 67. So that's that. And even that 15 doesn't even go to me. So like whatever. I get 52, the post office gets $14.50. So that's that. But tonight I'm posting another video tonight. I had to edit another video. Oh my gosh. I was like, I remember why I stopped doing YouTube videos. I don't like to edit. Number two, I remember why I stopped doing makeup tutorials because there's so much editing. Number three, I remember why I love doing live so much because it's so easy. Just turn on your camera and just go live. It's like, oh, I ain't gotta edit. But it's okay. That camera has way better quality than what I have going on here. So on the iPhone, but it's cool. It's whatever. I want to vlog though. I want to do a vlog. I want to become a vlogger, but I don't know what to vlog about. So, yeesh, the editing and the makeup, because like if I record a makeup tutorial and I try to do the least amount of stuff on camera so I can save time, and that still comes out to like 2 hours of footage, and I'm like, Jesus, 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 2 hours? Oh my Lord, oh my Jesus, 2 hours though? Ooh, baby, I cannot. So that's what that is. But I guys, love y'all. I'm behind on my work, so I gotta go. Child, today's been a crazy day. I need to stick to my schedule. I have to go back. I have to go edit this video. I have to record a video too. I have to record a makeup look. Yeah, but thank you guys for the love though. For the B palette one. Ooh, that was nice. Now it's time to do another one and another one. I'm trying to do like Vlogmas, like, but instead of doing like Vlogmas, like Beauty Mess, like 25 Days of Beauty or something like that, I'm trying. Hopefully I can make it because it's the editing that gets people. Like, it's like, yeesh, this is a lot. But today's video is already uploaded and it goes live at like 8 p.m. So we can meet at 8 p.m. and I'll be in the chat like, let's talk. So I'll be in the chat and we can do that. Okay. But I love y'all. And I'll talk to you later. I'll see you later. I'll see you at 8. I will. Bye, my loves. Take care of yourselves. Happy Friday. Okay. Be safe out there. See you at 8 o'clock Central Time, by the way. Bisous.